here we are, and he's over there recording in Twitch. So
Hmm. He promised the people a thing. He gave the people something else. Good old bait and switch.
I thought the whole idea is that we're here to record the podcast, not over in Twitch to record the podcast. Makes no sense.
That's what I thought. That's what I told the robots. That's why they're here recording us.
So at some point, when Respawn remembers that he's on a podcast and meant to be with us, he'll join us. But until then, you're just stuck with me and Peroty.
Woe is you.
Avast ye, and welcome to Two Titans and a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicating bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran pirates alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy hornswoggling your booty even more. So with all that said, let me introduce you to me ragtag crew. The scurvy sea dog Peroty, the son of a biscuit eater no one respawns in real life, and me, your captain, for this treacherous voyage, Nitedemon. Arr!
You know, it's not ARF could join us. It could just be like 3 straight hours of lore, and that's all you hear.
Don't kid the
I
people.
wouldn't hold your breath though.
No. He obviously hasn't listened to last week's show because he hasn't messaged me and gone, let's record some lore.
Well, there's 2 of us that haven't listened to last week's show yet, so I also haven't listened. So anything I meant to be understanding, I do not.
Fair enough. It did make me laugh because I was looking back at the downloads for the past couple of episodes, and the one about Telesto is the worst downloaded one we've had for quite some time. And I think people just absolutely detest Telesto. Like, I got that message from one of the Discords that I posted the link in. They're like, I hate you. It's like, I honestly don't get it. What is the matter with Telesto?
I think that was one where I think we're sort of at a, it's the typical end of the season sort of, call it lull, call it burnout, call it people just going, we're done, we're tired, we're ready for the new thing to begin.
Yeah.
And on top of it, the Telesto event, which should have been fun and lighthearted and enjoyable, I think just sort of went over like a lead balloon. People were just like, "Oh yeah, Telesto's acting up. Wow, fun. That's wonderful." And I think it's just a combination of sort of all those things of it just didn't hit well, and people going, "Yeah, we don't want to talk about Telesto. We don't want to see Telesto. We don't want to think about Telesto. There is no Telesto."
But there
Even though it
is
is the
a
best
Respawn. He's finally remembered he's
He's
meant to be
there.
on a show instead
I
of
was on the show.
stream.
We were talking about the show the whole time we were doing that.
No, but you're meant to be in here.
Yeah, well, there's
So-
been days you guys have been late. I've only been late 9 minutes, so you know what? I don't care.
Did you get your catalyst?
I did.
Good job.
Thank you. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and I was like, you know what? I never bothered to go back and get it. I tried the one time with some people that didn't know what they were doing, and after that failed
obviously
quite
didn't ask
miserably.
me because I'm professional at doing that.
Which
Alright.
catalyst were you hunting for a grenade launcher?
Scooter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't feel that good when I used it, but people were raving about it. I was like, you know what? I'll give it another shot. If there's that many people saying it's a good weapon, then maybe I just missed the bus. Maybe I was expecting too much. Maybe dances of Witherhoard fairies plumbed in my head or something. I don't know where I was going with that. I've only been awake for basically when I sent that message. So
Yeah, that's the same for me and probably Peroty as well.
Mhm.
And you sound very echoey today.
am I? I can probably fix that.
So now that we're all here, I'm going to get into Respawn's favourite part of the show because I haven't put a video out yet because there's only half the information that I want to put in a video. And I'm thinking, I said to Perry, do I put half a video out? And he's going, yeah, just put half a video out. And I'm thinking, no, I'm professional. I'd like to give people the full information. So I'm going to wait until Tuesday and make sure that I get on to look at the artifact to see what mods we're going to have. I'm going to look at our challenges and I'm also going to look at what's in our Eververse. But what I can tell you this week is that our Nightfall coming up on Tuesday for the first day of our new season, you can destroy Kargan in the Insight Terminus Nightfall. How excited are you about that?
A middle amount of excited.
Good. I like middle because we can always ramp that up because
Mhm.
Rift will be back in the Crucible parody.
I do like Rift. Rift
Do
is
you like
good
Rift?
times.
Does everyone like Rift?
I like
I don't
Rift,
like
but I
Rift.
don't like
I
Rift
like
on the new map.
watching Fallout play Rift. That was fun.
that man suffers for all of us.
But you know the way he suffers, though, I like his commentation.
Harry,
Thank
commentary.
you. I really like his commentary because even though he's falling into madness, he still makes jokes about it. And you know what? You gotta respect the man. You gotta respect it.
Oh, absolutely. It's still just great fun to watch.
You also have to respect the game mode because Rift is a 6v6 game mode that focuses heavily on objective based gameplay and not just killing the enemy team. Instead of accruing points based on defeating enemies, players can score points by picking up the spark and dunking it into their opponent's rift, which is near the enemy spawn. A team can either win by scoring 5 points before the opposing team can, or by scoring 3 points without the enemy team getting a look in, or having more points when the time runs out, basically. So,
Yeah, I really like Rift. I don't like Rift on the new giant big throne world map they gave us. Which I
no, I
don't think
like
anybody
that.
likes anything on that map, but
No, the longer the maps, the better they are.
not that map. Mm.
All the big maps.
All the big maps, sure, but not that one.
I can also tell you that Shattered Throne will be our pinnacle dungeon of the week. So again, Bungie are saying, go on, Nitedemon, go forth and try and conquer it solo. But I'm like, no, Bungie, this is the first week of the new season. You're giving me new stuff to do. Again, it's on a week where there's going to be loads of other stuff to do. I
Yeah,
can't
like
prioritize
conquering.
Shattered Throne solo dungeons.
I think you can. I think you should. I think
I think I should.
I think it's your
But
calling. I think this is the perfect way to start the new season. Get the new season started right. The past seasons have tried to beat you and told you that no, you cannot complete this
I
solo
can't.
flawlessly.
I know I can't.
I think
I'm
this is
not
the
kidding
perfect
myself.
opportunity to say, listen here, new season, I am going to do this. I am going to prevail. The day is mine.
Possibly.
I mean, I think that's how you have to set the tone for the new season of Redacted, because it's gonna redact you otherwise, and you just will never find the same amount of joy and victory as you would completing your solo flawless run day one.
I could do. I could just find lots of other joy somewhere else.
I tried that. That was my pep talk. I figured I had to give it a shot.
Maybe next time it comes up, but as long as they don't put it on the same week that Iron Banner is,
Mm.
I'll probably be like a little bit more like, go on then, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, put it on a week where nothing else is really going on Bungie. There's
Yeah,
no
I
event.
need it
There's
on a
no
week where I just
Iron
need to.
Banner.
I can do it. Yeah, yeah. And then once I get that one out of the way, then I can stress about the one on the moon and just do them in rotation of like which one I want to kind of do next. Because you've always got to set your goal kind of to do something else in the game, and that would be my goal. Average player tries to solo flawless the dungeons.
Mhm.
There you go.
Perfect. Love it.
Also, we have a pinnacle raid for next week, being the Last Wish on the Dreaming City, where
Mm.
you Peroty, and I,
Me.
that do not have the 1000 Voices exotic fusion rifle,
Me, you, us, who?
we could go and farm that if we had the gumption to go and do that.
Gumption. You know, that's such a fun word. Nobody ever uses.
I
We
know
have
I
the
said you
gumption, the
echoed, but now you're
time.
like on the other side of the room.
Now you've
Oh
fallen
my
down the
god!
well.
I'm just because the microphone, dude. The
It's not
microphone.
the microphone's not on the
Yeah.
other side of the room.
The
It
microphone.
is because I can't hold it continuously. I have to put it down at some point.
The microphone
Right
has
now,
not
it
moved.
is in my hand, and I'm
Yeah.
holding it close to my face, bro.
Well, that's good. Be
Keep it there.
professional
But
about
as soon as I go to do anything else, like change a window, play a game, do
No,
anything else, I
No,
have to do something with
no,
the mic, bro.
no, hold the
Don't-
mic.
Don't do anything else. Why are you doing other things? The people demand your full and undivided attention. There's no time for other things.
They also
This
like the
is
fact
my
that
full
when
and
you're
undivided
picking up the
attention.
mic and putting down the mic, that we get all the scratchy noises as well that I've now got to edit out.
Oh my god, is it scratchy right now? Are you getting scratchy?
No, I'm hearing echo now, but
Oh
if
my
you're not
god!
moving.
where?
I'm
Oh,
gonna hurt you. I'm gonna
This-
hurt you. I swear to God.
I think the people are going to hurt you when they hear this recording.
T-Rex is threatening to hurt you right now, and I'm not even Twitch to see it. I just know it's happening.
No, I just restarted the Twitch and he hadn't said anything. I don't know who's watching right now. Right now it says
see.
0 viewers. So the 8 that we had previously, I don't know if they're coming back.
So you're safe for now. Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I guess until they go to listen to it, they're like, bro, the fluff. And I'm like, I know, leave me alone.
But I am a sad panda that I cannot tell people what's available in the Eververse store or the challenges for next week until the update that comes on Tuesday. Like, I'm sitting here with bated breath, waiting to tell the people the information.
Something is coming. We don't know
Something
what
is
it
coming.
is.
Yeah. Well, we
It's
know.
definitely coming. It will be here on Tuesday, and we don't even know what the new season is called or anything about it or anything.
It could be called Season of the Assassins.
Golden's back, and thanks for the resub.
There you go.
Honestly, I think I got with my. I think the 1X came with one of the Assassin's Creed games. Maybe it was Valhalla. I've never actually played one for more than a few minutes. So I don't remember which was which. But I kind of want to pick one up now. I kind of want to go try it out.
Assassin's Creed
Because I can
IMO
I can be
was
dad.
really, really good in the beginning. Super good. Is somebody knocking on my door? You guys hear that?
Would it be better if you could be a large, angry Russian love bot and riding a wolf? I feel like maybe it would be.
Yes, it could be.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure that was probably already in an Assassin's Creed game at one point. Well, let's go back and check.
I'm a little salty that they put a wolf into Assassin's Creed, and where's my wolf in Destiny? Where?
Yeah, where's my wolf?
We're getting
Well,
ahead of
we
ourselves.
wear
a
our
little bit, although
wolves. Next season, we're getting a wolf back for the hunters anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know about the Titans, but hunters are getting our wolves back.
Where is my wolf mount? I want a wolf mount. I want to ride the wolf into battle. Who needs a sparrow if you could have a wolf?
I promise you, there's got to be a sparrow that looks like a wolf. There has to be.
How can you be a proper Iron Lord without a wolf? Come on now.
If you are listening to this and are completely confused of the fact that while we're talking about Assassin's Creed and Destiny, well, secretly under the radar, this was kept really quiet until the beginning of this week. Bungie have been collabing with Ubisoft, and we're now going to get a crossover event with Destiny stuff in Assassin's Creed. I think it's Valhalla, isn't it? I think they announced.
Yes.
And
yeah,
we are going to get
Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed stuff on the 6th of December. So Eververse is going to be chocked full of Assassin's Creed stuff. So, Micah, you might have to wait another month for that Arc Armor. Or they may have put both of them in this time.
Secretly, someone at Bungie's like, listen, I haven't quite finished the Warlock gear for the Arc. So if we could just push it like another week or two, I promise I'll be done with it by then. I promise. We don't have to go and get another collaboration done.
Well, we have people in the chat saying they want the next collab to be a Shrek collab. So take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
He wants to ride Donkey and have a Shrek Titan armor set.
Why not?
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
All right, let's think about that for a second, right? If Shrek was going to be a Titan, right? Who would the Warlocks be? Maybe the Godmother, Fairy Godmother, right?
You just go with it. I've never thought of it without this.
Well, I mean that's why I asked, right? So if Shrek is going to be the Titan, right, the big strong.
Why are you
Titan,
assuming that Shrek is going to be the Titan?
Because he's got huge shoulders. Isn't that their thing? Isn't that your thing?
It could be the hunter. You never know.
I mean, I think it used to be, but have you seen? Yeah, have you seen?
I've never seen a 9-foot hunter.
Well, that's because you're not looking up. But I mean, the hunters have gotten beefier lately.
Oh,
so
no,
I'm not
actually,
sure.
I've got it. Lord Farquhar. That's the hunters. Little capes, capes and crowns. Hunter.
I would actually rock that. No meme. I would rock the hell out of Farquhar.
See, there you go.
That would be amazing. But that's not working.
I'm crying. The show just started. My eyes are already crying. Knock it off.
The Warlocks would have to be Fiona. And you'd have to have two
Somebody
versions.
that, but are we talking human Fiona or
you'd have to have two
Fiona?
versions. You'd have to have two versions, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
But the robes, yeah, just goes with it. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the robes. I don't know. Anyway, and then of course the donkey mount is what he's complaining about. He doesn't have a donkey mount.
Oh, the donkey could be the sparrow, but it has an apple in its mouth, like it's dead, and you're riding it.
What about the dragon? The dragon was such a better
Again,
mount.
you can. Oh no, the dragon could be the ship.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. Yeah, the dragon would have to be the ship. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Love
Yeah.
it.
So now we sorted out our Shrek crossover. I'd like to kind of move on to other crossovers because this bodes very well for Destiny moving forward with other crossovers. Not necessarily maybe crossing over with Halo as I would have liked to now that they're with Sony, but it would have been nice to kind of have slight Halo crossover. And I mean, I know we had that with the 30th anniversary, but a little bit more like, you could get the Master Chief armor and Master Chief could get some of our armor, I guess, in Halo, but a Gears of War one would have been nice. I do like a bit of Gears of War.
I'm not familiar with the franchise. I played like the first one briefly.
Yeah.
So like, does Gears of War have 3 different classes to fit Titan Hunter Warlock? Or
Oh, they have they have various different characters, male and female, but they have some really cool armor with like the Gears of War logos on and things. And yeah, I think that would work really well. Have some Gears of War armor, and then Gears of War could get some of our armor. So some of the iconic ones that we've got, like we are with Shax and Saint 14 crossing over to Valhalla.
Well, I mean, like you say, Gears of War. I'm thinking like weapons, like
Oh, the
like
weapons,
the Monte
like
Carlo
I
with a
said last.
chainsaw on the front of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, that
Yeah.
would be really cool. But they do have a bayonet one as well in Gears of War. The Retro
Okay.
Lancer has the kind of the bayonet on the front, which is really cool because you can run and charge people down and stab them and do a finisher with them. So,
Perfect.
No, that sounds very cool.
yeah, see, there you go then. Yeah, they could do a Gears of War finisher or like we have with our finishers. So you get your Lancer out, you stab them, or the chainsaw, that would be really cool. You cut them in half. See, there's so much possibilities.
Yeah, but Bungie's not about cutting people in half, kind of thing. You know,
But they
you're
should
being
be.
a little too ambitious with that. I like where you're going, but Bungie is not about cutting people in half. They're not on the whole gore.
No, but no,
speed
you don't have
yet.
to have gore, and
No,
you can turn the
there's some
gore
gore.
setting
Everyone's a
off in
robot.
Gears of War as well. You
You
don't
should do
have
a
to have
serious
gear.
Sam style and just make all the gore flowers when it comes out of people. Turn all the
Yeah.
blood to flowers, and that's how it should be. The hippie blood.
There you go.
That is my door. Stand by.
So,
I will
what
not
other
stand by,
games
'cause
do you
that's not
think
my
would
problem.
be a really good crossover?
I was trying to. Is Ubisoft part of the Sony family? Do you like? That's what I was just trying to look up, and I was wondering, like, is it part of the Sony world, or is it just like, hey, we're Bungie, we do what we want, we are the powerful
I
makers
think
of.
Ubisoft is an independent studio, a bit like with Epic at the moment. Like they
Okay.
can, I think that's why they could probably do crossovers. That's why we're probably not going to see so much of an Xbox crossover because no matter how many times that you see Xbox and PlayStation pretending to be friends, we know that
Yeah.
they're not really friends when it comes down to various different things.
Yeah, they're still poking each other in the eye back and forth.
Yeah.
When will we not be friends? Excuse me.
Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
They've-
but aren't they best buds? They have so many things that they do together.
They pretend to be friendly, but they really just want to jab each other in the eyes, like all the back and forth about Call of Duty and it being exclusive or not, or promising to support it or not. They're friendly enough as long as it makes them money.
At the end of the day, Microsoft wouldn't dare kind of make it exclusive on the Xbox platform because they know how much money they can make by putting it on the Sony platform as well. That's exactly what they did with Minecraft. They said, we've bought Minecraft, we're still going to have it on all the platforms. There's never really been that much exclusivity on Xbox that isn't on any other platform with it. So they see it as a win that they own that so that they can then sell it to other
Platform studios, etc.
platforms. Yeah, other
You want a
platforms.
thing, you want to make all the money from all the places, just like Destiny. You want to be able
Yeah.
to play it everywhere, including your toaster. And you can get your Destiny 2 themed character packs, which include armor sets, swords, a scout skin, and a mount skin. Players can also grab a weapon pack, which includes unique spins on Destiny's iconic subclasses, each with their own gameplay perks and custom effects. In the Eververse store, you can get your hands on the Assassin's Creed themed ship, Sparrow, Ghost, and Finisher cosmetics, as well as 3 armor ornament sets. And really, by the time you're hearing this, they should be in the store because it comes out the 6th of December, which is Tuesday as we speak. So once the game is live, you can run. There you go, Nitedemon. That's part of what will be in your store.
Yep.
Run to the store and get your Assassin's Creed thing, or install Assassin's Creed and be Saint 14 hunting down people, because why would you not? Or Shax. I love how they were just like, we're gonna put the big beefy Titans and a wolf into Assassin's Creed because who doesn't love a game built around stealth? if you're a giant metal robot skulking through the streets.
Yes.
Is he giant? I would say he's average size robot.
Well, I mean, either way, large metal robot. Clank,
Yeah.
clank, 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 clank.
Ting, ting, ting.
Not very
Yeah.
stealthy.
So, with this crossover, do you think maybe we could get a Marvel or a Star Wars crossover? Because Marvel would be obvious Iron
Man,
Man.
you're
for the Titans.
reaching far.
I know, but
Like,
that
why
is
those two specifically?
because they're not under the umbrella of Microsoft or Sony. They are independent from other places, so that they could just do crossovers without kind of having to worry. Or even Warner Brothers, they could do DC superheroes. Not being biased, we could
Somebody
have
just said that. Somebody just said a
DC
Red
could
Hood Titan,
use.
which doesn't make any sense because Red Hood obviously would be a hunter. I've already made Red Hood as a hunter in the game. Just
there you
saying.
go.
D-
You could have
DC
Cyclops
could
as
use a
Titan.
boost. I mean,
What's that?
Cyclops
really,
Titan.
we already have a Cyclops though, a bad Cyclops, but
Oh, you go in the Marvel route. Okay.
No, that's DC.
If we go Marvel, I will not be happy unless we get a Deadpool hunter. I do not care.
well, I mean, honestly, if we're going the Star Wars or the Marvel route, then we're already in the Disney universe. So why not go all the way? Give me
sure.
everything. Give me
Yeah.
Donald Duck as a murdering space assassin. Come on, let's go.
Donald Duck
When
Bacon.
you said that, give me everything, I was thinking the princesses being murderers.
Oh yes.
You-
Oh my God, yes.
You could be Snow White the Titan.
That would be it. Make it happen. I want to be Snow White the Titan. That would be amazing.
You do scare the hell out of me sometimes. Not
Belle,
always.
Belle would be the
but
warlock.
sometimes.
Let's
You
make-
raise concern.
I mean, playing characters from Frozen in the Frozen clan in Destiny seems like the
There you go.
culmination of everything I've been working for.
Well, I mean, if you're that ambitious, who's going to stop you, right? I can't stand in your way.
Mm-mm.
Nor
I
would
mean, and
Just
building
that's
our little
ambitious.
ghosts out into full on droids. Come on, Star Wars! Like people are thirsting
Yes.
for new Star Wars content.
Oh,
I mean,
come on.
we already have little
BB-8
robots
as
to
your
follow us
ghost.
around.
BB-8
Right?
Ghost. Yeah,
Right? We have robots to follow us everywhere. We're like halfway there.
it's gonna be so good. We've got
Mhm.
this down.
We do, but sadly, that's not what we're getting. We are getting the Assassin's Creed Destiny crossover, and it is nice to see them, sort of, because even though they're sort of owned by Sony, they're still, an independent studio, sort of doing what they want. So it's nice to see they've got some flexibility to go, we're gonna, do this, do this crossover, that crossover. It's just fun to, let the cosmetic stuff go cross game.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see just where else that goes and what other, if these little partnerships are being made, what other partnerships might we be seeing? Movies, TV, comics, that they're clearly going in that direction. So, hey, we're gonna do a little deal with you, do some crossover content, and also, hey, you have a very a thriving media wing, Sony and other folks. Let's get you to help us with the TV show we're doing or the movie or whatever. So just it's nice to see Destiny as a thing, as a universe, doing well and thriving and expanding, even if people are all going, oh, the game's terrible, oh, we're sad about the game, but it's the end of the season, so wait till Tuesday and you'll see all the new YouTube videos of, oh, they've done it again, they've come back, it's amazing, we all love Destiny now.
The thing that's always surprised me, like honestly, right? You had so many voice actors from Firefly in the game to begin with, right? And we've never done like costumes for the Firefly characters, right? I forgot the first mate, the black woman. I can't remember her name right now, but an Ikora costume for her, or you know what I mean, a warlock costume for her, right? Since she did Ikora's voice, right? You can make a warlock costume with her. Obviously, the hunters would be the captain because that's who did their voice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was like 3 or 4 voice actors from. Well, we had a Sagira already, the Ghost Show, but I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the fact that we didn't have costumes from the voice actors that played the characters in Destiny has always been like a thing that I feel like they missed out on. You know what I'm saying?
They could still do it now that we're doing crossover things. I'm
They
sure
could.
Josh Whedon would love a bit of a crossover. Although
20th,
I don't know
20th
what
Century
we would
Studios.
cross Destiny
Oh.
over to him, but
Yeah, I mean, 20th Century Studios owned by the Walt Disney Company. So once again, we're still in the universe. We're still right here.
there we go.
Make it happen.
So, did you guys? I'm guessing that you've already logged on, haven't you, Respawn? Peroty, did you manage to log on this week and see the cutscene at the end of the season?
I logged onto YouTube earlier this week
Ah,
and saw the cutscene because I, up until this morning, had not touched my Xbox in the month of December
that's what happens when you
since
go
before
away on
Thanksgiving.
holiday.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
It
come back
is.
and you have to catch up on all the proper work stuff.
I know. Well, at the moment, the thing I'm trying to catch up on is collecting all the engrams I have sitting in my
Yep.
vendors.
Yep. Going around
I started
collecting
with
the engrams.
Shacks because I knew it would be bad. I have 102 sitting there. Can I have a child? Can you let me one of your children to come and just like collect the engrams and then just like check dim every like 25 or so, just to see if any of them are worth keeping, if there's a little
Yep.
thumbs up on them, and then just trash the rest of them because I do not care about the rest of these.
I did a mid-season clean out of Shacks, and I think I got rid of about like 100.
Can I have a child? Can I borrow some cheap child labor?
It is not slave labor. I will feed and take care of the child. Like this isn't servitude. This is just
I'm not
I
opposed
just
to
need
lending
someone
you a
to.
child, but the airfare and the passport might be a bit costly for you.
Yeah, that is true. It is a bit much just to collect things out of the vault, and that's too bad.
Yeah. And don't forget, if you've missed stuff on your not this month's season, or not this season pass, don't forget you can go back onto the Bungie.net website, log in and check your rewards from your season pass. But then there's another little button at the top that says check the previous season's pass. Because I still have 68 items left on Season of the Haunted season pass that I've got to collect before Tuesday. Otherwise, I lose all of them. And it looks like there's about 10 exotic engrams on there. I'm like, oh my word! I've never had an exotic engram issue as I do at the moment, because then I've got like 10 on this season's pass as well that I'll probably leave until the end of the next season, going, oh my god, I've still got all these exotic engrams. But yeah, some of them, like the weapons and things that I'd already got, but like duplicates and umbral engrams and things that were just sitting there. So don't forget to do that as well.
Yeah, that's a good call, because even though I swear I like before the as part of my end of the season ritual, I'll go through the entire pass and make sure I pick up everything. There's always something that I seem to miss, or just I haven't touched on another character and going, oh, there's those character specific things that I never picked up on someone.
Indeed.
There's always something there waiting for me.
So the cutscene, you both watched the cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
Yes, I did.
Were you confused at the end of it, or were you completely like, yes, I understand exactly where this is going?
There's a lot to unpack with that. So I'm gonna need you to be a little more specific, because the only thing I was confused about is how it feels to kiss something made out of metal.
Are
Right?
you familiar with Bender?
And then I spun into this whole existential black hole about exos in general. Like, yes, they are living beings, but is there like a thing in Destiny where like, oh my god, you're dating a robot, kind of thing, right?
How kissable is an exo is what Respawn really wants to know. So
yeah, and when you look at his face when he took off his mask, the mouth area looks pretty sharp, actually.
Everyone, send us your feedback on what you feel like it would be like to kiss an exo full in the mouth. It doesn't matter which exo. Even though, write your favorite exo kissing fanfic and send it to Respawn. He'll enjoy reading all of them dramatically.
Please no, don't. Everything he just said, don't do that.
We have Patreon rewards. We're going to introduce Patreon punishments. For the low price of, you too can torment Respawn.
You can force Respawn to read certain things on air. In character.
But I don't know.
I'll be honest. This season, normally I try to keep up with the seasonal story and at least watch Acid Crosses or someone who puts the cutscenes out every week, and I'll watch those and sort of process them and go, okay, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. This season, my brain just went, we're pirates. We're pirating, and that's about the extent of the story. I know there's other stuff going on. We're collecting parts of Nezerac, but we're basically pirates. So I'm sure there's lots of other story that I've missed.
You said that, and then
I'm going, yar.
5 butt pirate jokes popped into my brain. Jesus Christ, I'm so broken.
So I'm sure Destiny is setting us up for whatever the next story beat is, and I've heard lots of people talking about bits and pieces of someone might come back, or this might be a thing, or our long lost impersonated warlock may return to us. But yeah, I mean, if you're not gonna tell me anything about the new season until it drops, I'm gonna sit here and go fine. Then I'll just wait till it drops and go, ooh, look, a shiny thing you've given me.
I think the thing that was confusing me with watching the cutscene is that we spent the last couple of months chasing down these artifacts to then gather them, stick them on the helm, for then Mithrax to kind of juggle them and then create a cup of tea from them. Now, I'll get into that bit in a bit, but the thing is that we were told to stop Aramis from getting these to deliver them to the witness. And it was like, why did we stop her getting them if all she wanted to do was make a cup of tea? It's like they didn't kind of explain that in the cutscene. It was like, well, are you going to answer why?
Not just a cup of tea, though.
I know,
The
no, I
cup
know
of
it's not
tea
just.
has properties to it. Has
I know, it
has
does.
powerful components to it.
I
In
know,
this
but I said
particular
I'd get
instance,
to
it
that.
unlocked his mind to unlock past memories and this and that and the other. What if it
Yes.
would do the same to that guy? What if we don't want him to unlock past memories? What if past memories are a bad thing for that guy?
But I think the thing is that it wasn't explained what Nezarect meant to the witness. Why were we stopping the witness get the Nezarect parts? What would it have given the witness? Would it have given the witness a leg up? Would it given them, something? I just wanted to know what the ultimate goal was for collecting those. And basically, Aramis did a very poor job because she never got one of them. So, was it that we were being tricked? We constantly are being tricked into doing things.
She didn't get one of them because we kept taking them.
Yeah, but was it deliberate that we kept getting them before her?
And you know what? Noble's right, because as a British man, I thought you would be on board with the whole cup of tea thing.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't, but I said we'd get to that in a second. But I'm asking this main question is that I feel that Bungie didn't answer the Aramis delivering the parts of Nezarec to the witness. What was that all about? I mean, we had a conversation with Aramis at the end where there was no kind of, oh, I was going to try and get them for the witness because of this, or even Mithrax going, oh, I surmise that, Aramis wanted them for this, but I'm going to use them for this.
Well,
not being down on Bungie, but I think I wanted a bit more of an
know you're not, but
explanation
it's just
of.
like Bungie has a habit of like leaving an open-ended thing, and then once we all forget about it in 2 or 3 years, they bring it back like, oh, remember this? It's like, oh my god, I remember that. What? Right? So
Okay.
maybe we don't have closure yet.
I mean, was it the fact that the witness knew that if we gathered all the parts and we gave them to Osiris, that his memories would then be unlocked of his connection with Savathun, and he'd be able to see her memories and then give us some information? Did the witness know that, or did the witness know that and want us to know what was going on so that they could then see where we were going to see if they can kind of head us off? Is it kind of the witness's plan? Was it that now that Osiris is back and he's told us that there's this base out on Neptune, that we're then going to be searching this season for this base on Neptune, which is then going to give the Cabal and Callus a heads up of where to go, which is why the cutscene for Lightfall is that Callus has already arrived there, and we're there at the same time, kind of thing.
Tune in Tuesday to find out.
Well, no, I'm trying to put it together. Like, we know about it.
Well,
but
we
how
know
does
now,
Callus know about it?
but that's what I'm saying. Was this the whole plan of the witness, so that because he couldn't get to Savathun, because he knew that Savathun was either in our possession or that he just couldn't get to Savathun to find out where Neomuna was, that he needed us to gather the parts to then give it to Osiris so that he would then be able to see Savathun's thoughts and memories and go, oh, by the way, there's this secret base on Neptune called Neomuna. We need to go and search it out in this next season, so that then that gives the witness like a head start of going, well, they know that. And I don't know how the witness would know that we knew stuff, but obviously, the witness has got spies and people that he trusts, and the way that the wars work, intel gets fed back to the enemies. That's how come they arrive there at the same time in Lightfall, anyway.
It sure would be nice to have like any inkling of any of this versus
Yes.
us just going, we're going to guess, and Bungie's going, there's a new season. We're going to tell you absolutely nothing about it.
Well, I was so confused at what I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, okay, I get the cup because that was the cup that they had a fight. Osiris and Saint 14 had a fight, and it got broken. There was significance with the cup. Yeah, I get that. You know, that's why that's kind of come up.
I don't even know that, honestly.
Yeah, it was in one of the story things that there was an accident. That they were arguing about something, and something got broken. Anyway, but I was like, I need answers. I need some kind of clarification, and my law scribe isn't here working for me, so I need to go and outsource my law. So I went and watched the Mylan Games video, and he didn't give me anything more than kind of speculations. So then I went to the Law Daddy. I went to My Name is Bife, and I'll drop it in the show notes because it's a very, very good video on the return of Osiris. And he breaks it down as something that I kind of understood. And there's a lot of law entries that he reads and goes over. But the main thing is that I wanted to know, all about this cup of tea. It was like, right, how did Mithrax know to boil it down to do this, to do that, to kind of then it would unlock
Because
Osiris.
he could see the lines connecting things that no one else can see.
Yeah, I get that, but right, there's other things.
Clearly, you don't.
There's other things in the Bife video that he explains, but it basically boils down to that darkness makes sense of darkness unlocks memories and information, a bit like, and as Bife puts it, the deep side that we had on the Throne World. The using the darkness subclass and darkness powers gives you kind of a vision of the stuff that is there, whereas the light on the other side helps you forget. And I was like, that's really interesting because that isn't something that I kind of pieced together, and it isn't something that Bungie kind of made very clear in the video or the cutscene to say that this is how the darkness works. Darkness unlocks memories and gives you kind of this information of stuff. And the way Bife broke it down was saying, when we did, I think it was the 7 missions, and we were chasing the nightmares down. They originally started out as nightmares, but then they were redeemed. So it was all kind of using darkness and creating these kind of things. So it was a really interesting video. I'll stick it in the show notes because it is definitely worth a watch of trying to understand how this cutscene kind of make a bit more sense of it, basically.
Because C14 knows how to cook up some hallucinogenic tea.
I'm glad someone's trying to explain the story to us because Bungie, I don't really feel like.
Well, I mean, this is
Bungie
tying into the next season coming up, though, guys. So we're making assumptions like this is the end of it,
Oh, no, we're not making assumptions, but I just wanted a bit of an explanation of the various different things.
Watching Bungie's storyline sometimes is like going to a Marvel movie with a Marvel fan who's read the comic, who has a deep understanding of the entire world.
I don't like where this is going. I feel targeted right now. I think you should stop.
No. I mean, it was like you're here, and you're like, I'm gonna watch this thing. I enjoyed this thing. This was a lot of fun. And they're like, oh, but there's 19 levels of depth and story and understanding that you definitely missed because you are just not in this world.
Oh,
I'm not saying it's good or bad.
Oh, you're assuming they kept in line with the comic. Oh, okay. Because 90% of them don't.
Well, no. I mean, this is sort of my thing about Destiny because, like 19 even said, oh, remember the thing that happened like 7 years ago with this like minor interaction? Do you remember the cutscene from Taking King after blah blah blah? Like, no, I absolutely do not. But clearly somebody does because they're like, hey, we can bring this back and make this callback. Remember in season 1 of Destiny where this thing happened? No, I really don't. But someone does, and we're going to revive that storyline. We're all going to go, oh yeah, we kind of vaguely remember murdering that guy at some point. Sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Bungie did something like that, like the whole Iron Man thing. He starts the whole Marvel franchise by saying, I am Iron Man, and then ends his part of the franchise again by saying, I am Iron Man. And then he dies, whatever. I could totally see Bungie doing like a 14-year callback like that, man. Just be like, oh yeah, remember in season 1, Destiny 1? Was that?
I just can't believe
spoilers for Iron Man.
Well, spoilers seen Endgame by now. I'm so sorry.
I wasn't even going to say the name of the film. Now you've spoiled the film.
Oh, whatever.
There does feel like a bit of a statute of limitations on if you haven't seen it at this point, you run the risk of it being spoiled for you. I'm sorry.
But the other interesting thing was that I saw this on the Raid Secrets Reddit, that Bungie posted the Nezarec T cutscene online with an interesting description. And it says, as the threat of Zether Arath looms, Mithrax has taken the time to study the secrets of the Nezarec relics. And the Zether Arath looming thing was like, where is that in that cutscene? Did anybody mention that, Mithrax was scared of Zether Arath coming in like this season or the next season? It's like Bungie now have to write it in a description underneath, like posting it on YouTube and things like that. It's like,
Really, if you had watched frame by frame, you would
Yeah.
notice that as the ink blots swirl into existence, that you would see the outline of now. It's like this is sort of what it's like. Bungie, you can be cryptic, but sometimes you need to be a little more obvious. And maybe there's people out
On
there
the
going,
nose,
"Oh no, I absolutely know what you meant by this," but the rest of us going, "Yeah, sure, if you say so."
I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
if
but
if
this
Lord
is
Daddy
Bungie
missed it,
keeping people like Mylan Games and Bife and
Right.
keeping their YouTube channels relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna do the work because somebody inside Bungie does, but the rest of us, nope.
Squirrel!
Speaking of Mylan Games, have you seen any of his recent videos?
yes,
The dude's
I'll
rocking
trust this.
impressive facial hair. Like what, bro?
these youngsters today, they're all about their little mustaches. Bless them. It used to be long hair. You'd grow your hair to the longest possible, have a ponytail, and then you cut
In
it
my
off.
day, it was
We
like
didn't-
that too. I'm not ashamed to say
Exactly.
that I had hair down on my shoulders in high school.
I
Same
wasn't
to
sure.
me.
I
Pretty
wasn't
sure we're
big in
from
high
about
school.
the same day. I'm gonna go on a limb here. Back in my day, very similar to your day.
My day.
A little less tea in your day than Night Demon's day, but it was pretty much the same day.
Wow, is that a callback to the Boston Tea Party? What the hell?
It's a callback to him being British and us being American.
Okay.
We're not that old, God.
I thought you said I was so old that because back then they had the long hair wigs, but there was less tea in my time. I'm like, wait a minute, how deep is this joke going? Wait a second, hold on. How many layers is this?
I'm now picturing Respawn in his hotel room in his white powdered wig and his poofy coat and his,
His beauty spot that he's put on that just keeps falling off.
No, I have one of those naturally, unfortunately, and every now and again it gets a zit inside of it, which is quite obnoxious.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
So I don't want to bore people with kind of our take on the season, but I've heard a lot of people be very unhappy with this season, and even comparing it to the Osiris DLC that we had, and saying that they would rather have gone back and played that, even though that was a low point for Bungie, that rather than do the pirate stuff. But I kind of enjoyed it. It's a different thing, but there's been arguments for it's a $10 DLC. What do you expect? And other people are saying, well, Bungie know that it's a $10 DLC. They're just farming you out the same old stuff over and over again, and just hoping you'll take it. But it's. I don't think there's anything that we can say that is going to change Bungie's mind now, because they've already they've heard it from the big YouTubers, they've heard it from the big streamers. There's been a lot of feedback in the community. So, yeah. Unless you guys wanted to give them some of your feedback, I wasn't particularly fussed.
Well, I mean, the only feedback I have is sort of the same feedback that we've sort of been saying for a while is, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to say, listen, especially as we come toward the end of this story arc, it's okay to take hey, let's do a quality of life pass on the game. We're going to have a season where we're not going to have a big new activity, where we're not going to have, there will be a story, but maybe, the story, I imagine, again, there's a team doing that. So it's not like the team doing the story is going to take away from other aspects. You can do a pass where you say, hey, this is going to be the strike season. We got subclass 3.0. We're going to do strikes 3.0. We're going to do Crucible 3.0. And I know we're getting a big Crucible rework, but, hey, a bunch of these maps and stuff we took away, or hey, we're going to bring you a new map just out of the blue. We're going to drop it on you. Haven't told you about it. Here's a new map. We don't always have to have brand new content. I think, that grind of we're going to bring you a new activity that sticks around for 3 months and then goes away forever takes a lot of time and effort. It would be okay to not do that. No, granted, and maybe that's the, hey, here's a season, whether it's, if it's part of the season pass, it comes with the pass. Maybe it's a standalone season, I don't know how you price that, pay for it, whatever. But I think it would be a big quality of game improvement to go, hey, we're going to, a lot of these things you all have been telling us for, seasons now, we're going to do a big pass and fix. We're going to do a big pass and look into. And I know that's also super hard because we are on the crux of Nightfall. Like we are on near the beginning of the big new major thing that's coming, and who knows what else they have chalked into that update. But I think, we're at the point of the season where we get every season where people are like, oh, we're tired of it. Oh, we've done this. Oh, we're at the end. It's like, yeah, you've done it. You're at the end. You're ready for the new stuff. On Tuesday, you have new stuff. Perfect timing.
Yeah, I'm still struggling to finish the old stuff.
Yeah.
Respawn?
Yes, dear.
Any thoughts? Did you want to pass on your
Good
thoughts,
talk.
Bungie, without Respawn ranting?
Not really. I mean, like, they're good. There's ups and downs to every season, right? Some have more ups than downs, than others or whatever, right? And this one didn't. But I mean, as much as the community is talking about it, right? There was a whole lot of memes and fun about the whole pirate theme, right? I mean, that alone says that the season couldn't have been that bad if there were that many people having fun with just the theme of it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that was kind of fun, just the idea of being a pirate. Now, the pirate activity kind of meh, whatever, could have been better. But the whole pirate costumes and the pirate themes could have used more pirate accents in the game, wouldn't have minded Zavala at least once being relevant and maybe making a pirate joke, maybe saying something to you over the comms in a pirate, R kind of, thing. They could have had a little more fun with it, I think, which would have made it more entertaining for us outside of the activity. But we got new guns. We got a bunch of new legendary guns. We got new exotics, and if you paid for the DLC, you had another new exotic, right? So I mean, it wasn't a total wash for me. Like I tried to give Bungie the benefit of a doubt because why am I spending so much time playing the game if I hate it, right? So I'm trying to look at the bright side. We had weapons, we had armor, we did things, I wasn't happy with the whole community outreach competition where basically we made the world's most expensive set of stairs, right? But I mean, like I said, they can't all be winners, especially when they have a dev team trying to build a whole season of content in a couple of months. As a guy, who's familiar in programming, sometimes a single project, a single thing that can do a single thing can take 2-3 weeks to build and compile. You know what I mean? And you're trying to build an entire season in a few months. I mean, credit where it's due. It's not easy. They're still doing their best. For the people that weren't here in Destiny 1, there were entire like 9-10 months of just drought in a season. At least if they're making the effort to give you something to do, should be appreciated, I think. Just from a work level standpoint, they could be like D1, be like, you know what? We're not going to do anything until we drop the next big DLC. We could have had, I mean, we could have been waiting this whole time, this last 6-9 months until this upcoming season comes out with Strand, right? With nothing to do. And then what? What are you going to complain about then? Destiny's got no content. Well, at least Destiny's trying to give you content, devil's advocate here. So all in all, wasn't the worst. We have had contents that have been worse, but I mean, it also could have been better, So I mean, it's just what's your personal view on? Did you like the weapons that came out? Some of them are cool. I like the spark aspect of some of the weapons. When you get a kill, you reload. Now you can jolt lightning out. That's pretty cool, right? But I mean, I guess if you didn't like it, sorry, bro. There's another season coming up. If you did like it, congratulations. You got to talk like a pirate until it irritated some of the listeners,
Yeah.
So.
But
I mean, I think that's the question. Did you enjoy being a pirate?
Yeah.
I enjoy being a pirate. I've got the pirate dance. I've got the pirate outfit. I enjoy the piratiness of it. I think the season will be remembered more fondly for the cosmetics that came in the season, less so for the gameplay loop of Catch, Crash, and Expedition.
Yeah,
and possibly the treasure hunts, which I forgot about.
Do you think that Bungie have made a rod for their own back in creating seasons, going from the model that they had with Destiny 1 with like just the 2 expansions that we had, the Dark Below and then the House of Wolves, and then I think it was it Taken King and then Rise of Iron, and the content droughts between, and then they were like, we've made this decision to then do like 4 seasons in that year and cram what we can and create all these new activities. It's not like each season it's like, oh, you've got activity 1 and then season 2 you've got activity 2 and then season 3 we're going back to activity 1. It's like a new thing each and every season. Do you think they've made a rod for their own back with that? And then also having to create, like they said, it takes quite a while to create new exotics, new weapons in the game as well. So there's a lot to kind of go, because they're like, well, we've got to put one on the season pass, we've also got to then put one in the game, we've also then got to do 3 exotics for each class each season, and build whatever kind of activity we are, and story beats and all this stuff. Do you think that they've kind of they're trying to do too much? Like I know you said like take a breather, or maybe cut it down to like just 3 seasons in the year. Would that give people more content, like more substantial content than trying to rush everything into the 4 seasons each year?
I would love to see them do 3 seasons of content and 1 season of quality of life.
Or maybe just do the 3
have,
seasons and quality of life across each kind of season. Just do
right
bits and
yeah, man. Because that's the thing. Because it's not like there's some trade off. Because it's not like if we do X, we're going to get Y. Like if we say, oh well, cut the story out and then it'll give you more gameplay. Well, no, because it's like there's obviously different teams. There's a narrative team, a weapons team, armor team. There's all these different teams doing things. So yeah, and I almost wonder, sort of, is one of these teams overwhelmed? Like you said, it's a lot of new weapons, it's a lot of new armor. The armor I would imagine needs less testing than weapons, unless it's an exotic with special perks and things.
What you
I
say
would
that?
guess.
How many times has an exotic come out of the gate and then been immediately turned off?
Well, right. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the exotics, absolutely, since they are one-off. An exotic armor does something interesting and new and different. That absolutely needs testing. But like, if you're just putting out a new hunter armor set, like I imagine the amount of testing that goes into that, as long as it respects its values and it doesn't come out of the gate like, I don't know, with your resilience entirely broken. Beyond that, like I imagine it should more or less work. Now, granted, I know that's a simplification, but I imagine that like the amount of testing that go with like the weapons and things with more complications and just more to them take longer. So yeah, I always wonder, like, if there's something, if you scale back one piece of it, like hey, like maybe there's one less exotic weapon. Does that free up like the weapons team to do other work, or does that, would that give us something else? Is there a maps team? I guess I don't know if that's the sandbox team that does all the maps and stuff. Sort of who is that? Just the team that's understaffed?
Like weapon balancing, I think, right? Isn't that what they do?
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm sort of wondering. Is like it's like sort of like why has like the new maps piece just sort of fallen by the wayside? Is it just like that team is overwhelmed? That team is not that many people. That team has to work with every other team, and every weapon, armor, whatever has to be tested across everything. And that's what I sort of wonder. Is like sort of what could Bungie do to give us that like quality of life update to the game? Is it a staffing problem? Is it a time problem? Is it a like you're giving us whole new activities every single season, and just the pace of that is not sustainable? Because like they sort of started this pace when they were with Activision, and Activision was able to pull in Vicarious Visions and the other company that I now can't remember the name of,
High Moon,
to sort of like do some of the work. And now it's just Bungie, so
yeah.
They're on the hook for all of it. Because I think was it the I can't remember, was it the Menagerie season that like was, or with the Sundial that I think they were like was solely built by one of the outside companies. They were
that
like,
was
they
actually
built
one of
this
the funner
entire
seasons.
thing.
Now that you mention it, that was a good season.
Yeah, it was a good season, but would you have liked it? I mean, if it had stuck around and still been the same repetitive thing up until now, I think
Oh
people would have still been kind of bored of it.
Absolutely not. No.
But I suppose with the Leviathan coming back, there was the opportunity to maybe go, well, if we're bringing the Leviathan back, maybe in season 19, we bring back the Menagerie in some way and have this happen and have X, Y, and Z. I mean, that could be the thing that's happening next season. We don't know. But it's like, Yeah, sometimes there's missed opportunities, like we say, tie in the reprise raids that are coming back, make it a story beat, a slight story beat to say, the Vault of Glass has been reopened. Then there's this rogue version of the Vex that are trying to reenact and bring it back. So you've got to go back in there and stop it again. And the same with Oryx and the Kingsfall raid. There's like a taken version of this, and it's kind of it's a story beat to say, because the Taken King was gone and you defeated him, but they're trying to kind of manipulate with the Vex and time, blah, 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 blah. But there could have been an explanation of why we kind of, just a slight thing, just like a quick thing. They don't seem to kind of want to, they miss a lot of kind of good things like that I see that it, even if you're bringing back something as a reprise thing, just, you can just like one little thread would you could kind of pull on, and I think people would be excited that it came back for that reason. But that's the other thing talking about this season, and I know I'm not going to go hard on Bungie about it, but the bugs. How many bugs have there been? We had Fest of the Lost with the same bug from the previous year, and every week there would be an issue that for the 3 weeks that we had Festival of the Lost, there was an issue with it. We had this past event with the captain's coins. There was an issue with it. There was how many other with the exotics coming out of the gate and having to be turned off. Even like yesterday when I turned the game on, I was like, why am I doing Catch Crash solo? I haven't loaded into a master. I'm here by myself, and it takes somebody like Cheese Forever to post a video going, Bungie have broken matchmaking. I'm like, that's what's happened. So, and literally, you I don't know if it's fixed now, because I think I was talking to you, Peroty, wasn't I, last night? Is it fixed? Is it not fixed? I mean, I was at work, so I couldn't see, but it was like there's been a patch and it's fixed, and then Bungie come out and go, oh no, it's not fixed, and we're now going to have to do this. It's like, oh my word, what did you do to break that? Just like that was unbelievable. But I think it's the constant bugs also turn people off of the game, because if it's something that you've like I only have a short amount of time that I can jump on and I can get stuff done, and if that is your window of time to jump on and play the game, and the game is down or the game is bugged or something is wrong that you can't then play, or we've now got X amount of maintenances kind of scheduled, it's like, well, I'm going to go and play something else. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, if you're trying to, even if you're just, trying to play the game and the game is not working, obviously that is a massive problem. Like I would much rather have them spend some time, again, if we need to have a quality of life and bug fixing pass, in lieu of like new content for like, one of the 4 seasons we get out of the year, that would be fine. If you give me a seasonal event, which, are always sort of go over like lead balloon to the community, it feels like, partially because like out of the gate they're a little bit broken. And it's not like it's a new and different bug. It's the same bug from last year. It's like, if you're gonna do a thing and make it a a thing you want people to look forward to and promote, make sure it works. Take and again, and I know us sitting here, playing backseat developer, it's all very simple to go, just make sure this works, make sure you fix these things. But it's like if the pace is too fast to maintain what you're doing working in a remote fashion, your entire way of working has been upended in the last couple of years, in addition to trying to maintain this pace that I think sort of Activision set and you've been sort of trying to live up to. It's like, it's okay to take a step back and go, listen, we want to give you a better game, a better experience. And what that means is this, the game was getting too big and too bloated. Here's a content vault, hey, we need to sunset some weapons because it's just broken the sandbox and is unbalanceable. Again, not popular at the get-go, but it needed to happen. If you need to do the, I always go back to my olden days of the Mac of, hey, we put out Leopard and Leopard was fine, and now we're going to put out Snow Leopard, which is basically fixing all the things that Leopard had wrong with it. Like, here's an entire operating system release that's basically, some new stuff, but a lot of quality of life, a lot of improvement, a lot of small bug fixes and things to make your experience day-to-day better. And that's almost feels like what Bungie, Destiny sort of, I won't say needs, but could certainly benefit for, of just, let's take all those sharp edges and those bugs and just shave those edges down, fix a bunch of those bugs, make the day-to-day experience better. So if you've got your buddy, Christmas is coming, hey, come play Destiny with me, It's free to play. You know, grab it on the Epic Game Store, grab it on Xbox, PC, whatever, and you're playing it, and you're like, this game is buggy. That, you know, if you're not going to have a good time with it, if you can't bring new people into the game and they have a good time because they're seeing bugs, especially during, you know, hey, this is you know, the dawning activity, a seasonal activity. Oh, but this is broken. Oh, but that's broken. Oh, but you have to know these 6 pages of caveats of how to enjoy this experience. You're not coming back to that game. I wouldn't come back to a game where if I picked it up and it was just weird and broken and I felt like I had to watch 6 hours of YouTube to understand how it worked.
Well, I mean, Peroty makes some good points here. Let's view the metrics here, right? Or Bungie is not a game like God of War. You play through it once, and that's it. There's nothing new. You might go find secrets here and there, but you played the game. The game is over, right?
You don't beat Destiny.
Right. You don't beat it. It's an ongoing experience. And you know what? If they need to take time away and fix the game or build on the game and you go play another game, what's wrong with that? You know, either A, people think they have to keep playing Destiny, otherwise it'll just disappear on them, right? Or
So I
B,
don't have to keep
it's the
playing
devs thinking, oh my God, if we take a break to fix things, we might lose, you know, customers or whatever, and then we'll never get that momentum back. Well, if you put out quality stuff, you're going to lose gamers anyway, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of, it's what are you willing to do? There's nothing wrong. I play other games, right? Whenever Destiny's in a drought or I'm not feeling the season or whatever, I'll get what I need out of the season and then I'll go do something else. Like I'll go play, you know, other games that if I say any, he's just going to dolphin me out. So why bother?
You can say Gears of War, like Gears of War.
Yeah, just say Gears of War.
Well, I mean, I've never played that, so I mean that could be a thing that I would play,
Yeah.
right? Well, never played. I played it once briefly, right?
This is the perfect time to pop in Assassin's Creed Valhalla and play as your favorite Shaxx or say 14. See there.
But I don't have an Xbox anymore though, so I mean, can I even play Gears of War?
Yes.
Isn't that an Xbox
Yes.
only thing?
No.
No. Oh, all right.
Microsoft, you can get it on Game Pass and for PC.
Okay. But I
it's
mean,
cross-play as well,
you
so
got to
we
get
can
rid of the
still play.
stigma. Like it's a bad thing to go play another game if Destiny's not your cup of tea. Destiny, give Destiny 4 months, something else is going to happen, right?
I think the bad stigma around Destiny is that
No,
even
not Fortnite, T-Rex.
we say every new season, we say give it a couple of hours before you jump on, because I think when it gets to the point when you know that you're telling people that play the game or new players coming into the game, give it a couple of hours before you log on to the new season, because there's always issues. It's like you wait 20 hours to get in, like Rise of Iron, or you're waiting for your number to kind of come up so you can get in the game, but then there's a bug in the game that's then kind of breaking it. It's like when it becomes a running thing that happens, I think that's when you need to take a step back and go, we need to address this. We need to make sure, yes, maybe, you know, then you need to wait times to get into the game like other games are, but we need to make sure that as soon as somebody is in the game, there isn't that bug that is then breaking whatever the new thing is that we've put in the game. I think that's what they need to look at. Like Peroty said, they need to take some time to, you know,
Take a step back
not
and
sharpen,
breathe.
not sharpen the edges, but you know what I mean. It's like sand down the edges.
Sharpen the edges. You want to play our game?
Come here, we're gonna cut ya.
See if you can handle it.
Right?
Yeah.
You like Gears of War? Cool. We'll actually cut you. IRL. You buy the game, somebody comes out to your house, knocks on your door, cuts you, and walks away. Ta-da! Beat that, Bungie. Actually, no, that was Bungie. My bad. Beat that, Microsoft is what I meant. Oh,
So
gosh.
that's the old season. That's that. That's what we've done. That we've talked about that. We've thrown a few things. Yeah, good. And hopefully, you know, people agree with us there. But let's move on to this week at Bungie, which telling us, you know, for the 1st of December, Christmas time, that we've got a new season starting this coming Tuesday.
Oh, right after Thanksgiving is over.
Yes. So we've got, we've talked about it, the exclusive partnership with Ubisoft, Iron Banner, Trials of Osiris, and Nightfall loot pools update. That's the word. Weapon philosophies and more of the upcoming changes with senior design lead Chris Proctor. An important update on Hunter Void Invisibility that Respawn is going to tell us all about. Season 19 artifact preview. Not really a preview, it's just a list of this is what the mods are going to be. A preview would have been a picture and going, look, here's a preview. But hey ho, that's what they're calling a preview. And then we get to vote
mods are all
on
we
our
really care about anyway, though. Let's be
yeah,
honest here. The mods is all we really want to know about.
yeah. And we get to
Did you
vote
say
on
Le
our
Mans, like the race?
The mods.
Oh, the Mans. Le Mans is really all we care about. It's like, how did you make that jump, Peroty?
No, how did you make that jump, Respawn?
It sounds like Le Mans.
SRL confirmed.
We can vote on our
Run.
favorite Arbalest ornament, as well as the bonus interview with the chosen community artist behind the craft.
The artist who did all the Arbalest things is their community focus this week, is what they're trying to say.
There you go. That's what they're trying to say.
Stellar Star Logic, Star Stellar Logic. We'll get to it there. Yeah, that was our artist community feature this week.
New Prime Gaming drops, and Peroty's favorite known issue lists.
Which was all of just this week. I was watching. Again, I've got Bungie help on Twitter because you sort of have to play this game, and just watching them just being like, "Well, we fixed it. It's broken. It's up. It's down. It's up. It's down." And then Nitedemon was like, "Yeah, matchmaking's totally busted." Pan texted me last night. He's like, "I need to turn my brain off and shoot things. Does the game work?" And I was like, "Well, it worked earlier, but you play everything solo." I was like, "Maybe it'll work for you now. Log on and find out." And that was the last I heard back, so I'm assuming it was working at that point. I think it was after Bungie helps last of, hey, we fixed it. We're pretty sure it's working now. We're somewhat confident.
The only bonus to that, like I think we were talking, was that you could go into an expedition and kill as many ruffians as you liked and spawn the ruffians when you wanted to, even though I'd already done the ruffians. But the other good thing is that I managed to get that achievement or the triumph to do the catch crash where the servitor is in that room and he doesn't detect any fire team members. I was so sneaky as a Titan in there. I was like, maybe I should have gone on the hunter, but no, I wasn't. I was very fast. I didn't get detected, and I got that triumph done because there was nobody there to mess it up for me. So I got that one done. I was quite happy about that.
Nice.
So we got some new weapons arriving. Not next week, but when the things do kind of arrive. So we have Trials of Osiris weapons. And it looks like we're getting a new Suros adaptive hand cannon and an adept version, of course. And it's called the Exalted Truth. Sorry. And the Unwavering Duty Suros adapted machine gun and adept version. And, we knew what was leaving, so we're not going to tell you about that. But you have Whistler's Whim, Forgiveness Sidearm, the Inquisitor, and the Burden of Guilt still sticking around. Iron Banner. Now, this is something I got wrong because I think I told you guys it was a different auto rifle that was coming back. So this is going to be the Dark Decider. I completely missed it, and I don't understand how, because it's one of my favorite archetypes. It's the rapid fire frame, like the Vice ones. So maybe it'll have the Vice perk on it. I'm sure it's a Vice one, isn't it? It's the rapid fire frame, yes. So it has an impact of 18, a
Where
range
are you reading
of
from? Are
25.
Bob, with what's
Well,
going, what's staying.
Yeah.
Then he has. I'm sure he went to like.
Jumped? Okay.
I'm telling people all the information. I have two screens up. I'm looking at two different things.
Yeah. We've already talked.
Super organised.
We already talked about the Ubisoft thing. Now we're doing a fine evening of Iron Banner or of Iron Banana and Trials of Osiris with a splash of Nightfall.
Okay, there we go. All right, I'm tracking.
Oh,
Cool.
bless him. We have to tell him where we're looking because otherwise he gets upset and he doesn't know what we're looking at. Yes.
Well, because I'm showing it to the viewers, so anybody who's watching can keep on with you guys.
Okay. So I also, for the benefit of the viewers, I also have the D2 Gunsmith up with the Dark Decider auto rifle on the screen. So if Respawn can get to that at some point. So yes, I was telling you about the Dark Decider auto rifle because this is the one that I missed from telling you. I think a couple of weeks back when they said it's going to be two new.
Is this that featured gun, the one that looks like a 9-foot long pulse rifle?
No.
That's the one that's the auto rifle.
If you type in Dark Decider into D2 Gunsmith, it will show you what the old archetype.
Oh, you're on D2 Gunsmith. Okay,
that's what I said. Yes.
Dark Decider.
So the Dark Decider has an impact of 18, range of 25, stability of 49, handling of 39, reload speed of 46, an aim assist of 72, and a zoom of 16, recoil direction of 43, and rounds per minute is 720, with a magazine of 50. And now that's the base stats from the old version that was available when it was in Iron Banner, and it looks. I'm not saying that it's kind of hinting at what's coming next season, but I'm going to go along with everybody else's theory. The last time the Dark Decider was around, was in the Warmind DLC because it has a little Warmind symbol on it. So that could be a hint. It originally came with high caliber rounds, auto-loading holster, and a couple of barrel perks. So at that time, we didn't really get that much freedom of perks that were available for it. So hopefully now it's coming back into the loot pool. We'll get the Iron Banner perk or the Origin perk on there, and then loads more different kind of perks that can roll on it. So I'm looking forward to that because I do like the rapid fire frame auto rifles, because this is the same archetype. This one comes in arc, but it's the same archetype as the primary weapon, which everybody's kind of raving about at the moment. I don't know if you guys have heard about this one. Not heard about this one, but it's the crate. Apparently, because of the auto rifle buff that happened a couple of weeks back, the crate at the moment, which is the primary
Stasis auto rifle.
That's the one, stasis auto rifle. That one's doing really well. So if you've got some really good perks on that, check that out.
It's a laser beam. It's so
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
so stable, so just eats people.
So the Dark Decider is the arc version of that.
That's delicious. Yeah, because it creates 720 with a massive magazine and just you delete people.
Yeah. And Ganora's axe, which was the slug shotgun, is going to be the other item that's coming back into the Iron Banner loot pool. They haven't detailed when Iron Banner's coming back. I think it was after Christmas, wasn't it? I think it was going to be the first week in January. But again, we'll go over that when it comes back up.
What's staying? Tell us in a future TWAB.
Yeah. What's staying is the Allied Demand Sidearm, the Roll the Bear rocket launcher, the Wizen Rebuke Fusion, the Hero's Burden submachine gun, the Frontier's Cry hand cannon, and the Razor's Edge sword. And then finally, our Nightfalls. What is arriving would be the Wendigo GL3 heavy grenade launcher and the Hungura SR4 scout rifle returning. I feel that that's only been missing a couple of seasons and now it's back. And they've gone, what do we throw with that? Let's put in the Wendigo. And there was quite a bit of chat in one of our Discords earlier this week. And I think Noble was saying it's like, he's not really kind of down with the Wendigo coming back because the perks that were exclusive on the Wendigo are now on a lot more grenade launchers. So what's going to make this, sought after? The same with the Hungura. The Hungura, the RPM on that isn't one of the kind of top archetypes for scout rifles at the moment. Although it's a pretty decent one. And
well, what made the Hungura good was actually just nerfed, right? So the reason people were chasing the Hungura is because it was the only scout rifle you could get box breathing, and with that you could 2 or 3 tap Guardians in the Crucible as long as you had box breathing up on that first shot. So it was really, really good in the Crucible. It was okay. It wasn't bad in PvE, but it was mainly a PvP scout rifle that people were all about, Yeah. But now box breathing has been nerfed. I don't know if that changes the TTK at all, but
possibly, yeah, because I remember Cool Guy and Fallout doing videos on that saying that you need to get this role, this specific role. So even if it comes back with box breathing, it has been slightly nerfed, which we'll go over later on in the TWAB. But yeah. But the Wendigo, I mean, it's like, Noble's right. The perk, wasn't it the explosive light was the perk, wasn't it?
That was the introduction of explosive light as a perk.
Okay.
So why? I mean, it's a weapon. It's in the loot pool. They gotta draw straws at some point. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm excited to go try to get that one.
No.
Well, the Wendigo had a static roll, remember, because it was a seasonal weapon. If it's going to be in the Nightfall loot pool, maybe it'll have random mods that'll make it better.
Maybe. But I don't think these two coming into
one for what it's worth.
Yeah, I don't think these two coming.
Oh, that would be really good. An Adept one, big boy mod. Oh yeah.
I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose the Adept version. Maybe you sold me on that. There you go, Noble. Yeah. That's the reason why.
Yeah, they'll at least have Adept versions of the Hungura and the Wendigo. So again, not to say that's necessarily a draw, but at least it's something.
Yeah, I feel that they put a lot of effort into the trial stuff. Not too much effort into the Iron Banner stuff. It's like we'll just reprise weapons, although those weapons seem to be, quite popular. Shotgun and auto rifle. And it's Nightfall. It's like we took out Hungura a couple of months back. Let's stick it back in. What can we stick with it? Wendigo. Let's put that one in. It's like, maybe you need to put a little bit more kind of thought into what's going into the Nightfalls. Make it like really
Just
sought after.
Nightfalls. Who cares?
Anyway,
Which is sort of how I feel about Strikes and Nightfalls, and apparently that's sort of how Bungie feels about it too.
so one more thing, they also have a shiny new season 19 ornament ritual activity like Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard Strikes. So we have I believe it's a Hake scout rifle. It looks like a scout rifle. It could be an auto rifle. I could be completely wrong, but it looks like one of these scout rifles. It looks.
Yeah, I was looking at that trying to
You
figure
think
it
that's
out.
a scout with the magazine in the back? I thought it was a pulse.
Could be. I thought it was a scout because it looks very similar to what was I looking for?
Similar to a lot of things.
Well,
I was like,
I mean, do we have any scouts with the magazine in the back? Legit asking.
I don't
that's
know.
why I'm looking now on Destiny Item Manager. I'm looking. Yeah,
Like
the
Night Watch doesn't have the magazine in the back. Magazine's in the front.
Gilded Sight.
I've never paid that much attention.
Gilded Sight from Iron Banner is a scout rifle with the magazine on the back handle there.
Okay.
Yeah. The Servant Leader also.
I mean, it looks like a Hake pulse, honestly. PUL.
It looks like the Perseverance, which is a Hake scout rifle, but yeah, it could be a pulse rifle. Would be handy, Bungie.
Kind of looks like a legal action, like a longer version of a legal action.
I mean, saying that, yeah, actually, no, it couldn't. No, the Hake auto rifles have the stock at the front, so it's definitely not an auto. I'd say it's definitely not an auto rifle. Bungie could do whatever Bungie do. It could be.
Bungie do what Bungie do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we're getting a
we'll
new
see.
weapon. It's got the skins for Crucible, Vanguard, and Gambit, which Gambit looks like the best one because it's green, has a snake on it. So why wouldn't it?
Yes.
I mean, can we get the default drop as the outlaw with the Desperado? Because no, not outlaw. Rapid fire with Desperado. Rapid hit. Sorry. Can we get that? I'd really like that.
Respawn. I've made it so.
Yep.
Yay!
Yours will have it.
I love it, and mine only.
just for you.
And was it not even be a pulse? It's a scout. Something like that.
So we have some weapon philosophy and art of running div, and that's divinity. So senior design lead Chris Proctor is back again. This poor guy. They go, Chris, we're going to do some more stuff.
Very busy.
You need to go and write some stuff down again, Chris. Bless him. So he went over a whole kind of balance patch like a couple of months back with the Festival of the Lost mid-season. They say it was mid-season, but we did discover it was past the mid-season. I'm not going to argue with you, Chris. You say it's mid-season. It was past mid-season. They did stuff, and we went over that. But if you want to kind of look at it again, they put a link in the TWAB, which we linked this month's TWAB in our show notes, so you can kind of, or this week's TWAB in the show notes, so you can go back and look at that and then click on the buttons. But we've already covered that. It's already in the game. It's already here. So if you're playing the game, it's stuff you're already playing with. But there were some things that they missed out on there, and some things that they did kind of touch on and say this is going to be upcoming. So this is the upcoming stuff that they're going to be talking about and touching in good ways and bad ways. And the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the full auto retrofit mod. So that apparently it's been doing really well, and they're now going to make good on their promise respawn. They're actually going to put it in the game as a toggle.
Time.
I think Respawn's been going on about this for about a year. Since when they first mentioned it, it was literally the next week you went, is it in the game? Is it in the game? We're like, no, Respawn. They said it's going to be a while. It's going to be like maybe 2 seasons, and then it turned out to be like 4 seasons. I think in the end it turned out to be about 6 seasons before it actually came into the game, and it's still not here. It's going to go live at the launch of season 19 on Tuesday, December 6th. So fingers crossed, because I think the last time they said it was going to go live, they then had to say, no, it's not, and we're just going to leave you with the mod. Hopefully, this is going to go live on Tuesday.
And you know what that means?
I do.
All those full auto mods you've been slapping into weapons, now you can put something else in there. I don't know about you guys. I don't think I've used a single other mod except for full auto mods, unless the gun already had full auto on it. So I'm excited to get my mod slot back for anything else.
Sidearms, yes. because the sidearms have been very tasty this season, I've put the full auto on there, and I've
Mhm.
really enjoyed that. So I'm going to be excited to put like switch the toggle on and go for the kind of the easy Night Demon mode of that's on
Mhm.
there, and I'm going to stick a different mod in there, maybe more in the magazine, because what goes better with firing auto is having more bullets
More
to fire.
bullets.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't have to be good if I can just
Or
keep
maybe,
firing.
depending on what you're playing, you could put like a mod on there that helps you get headshots better.
No,
Nope.
more
Maybe
bullets.
increases your stability.
More bullets.
Maybe
Nope.
increases your handling.
Nope, more bullets.
Bullets. Because if I have bullets, I don't need to increase the rest of those things. I can just keep firing until the thing stops moving.
But Respawn, be aware they will be watching you, personally you, and maybe a few other players of
No, it's just me. They sent me a letter.
they're going to be kind of looking at Respawn and how he uses the mod, or the toggle, and looking at additional ways for players to pick which type of weapons this setting applies to sometime after Nightfall. So again, it's going to be all on.
When they sent me the letter, I already replied. I was like, look, I'll make it easy for you. What are people going to do with the mod? They're going to turn it on.
Yes.
Step 2, what weapons are they going to use it on? Well, if we had a choice, let's see. Pulse rifles,
it's all of them.
cannons, sidearms, scout rifles, grenade launchers, rocket launchers.
Rocket and grenade launchers, I think I'll stop you. So, rocket and grenade launchers, I don't think I'll full auto because they don't really need it. Everything else, though,
They should. I'm not talking.
Running-
Okay, to be fair, I'm not talking single shot grenade launchers. Multi, drum fed, grenade launchers. Like the prospect. The prospect is full auto, right? So things like the prospect, you got to drum that thing. Do. Just hold the trigger down, bro. Why make me push the trigger
If
more
I
than once?
have ambitious assassin on it and I've got like 2 or 3 grenades in that thing, I'm going to be holding that button down.
See, there you go. Yeah, just full auto on a 2-round magazine.
Yeah. So for now, it's a toggle that's on everything. I guess everything, and then they're going to see how OP it is, and then they're going to go, oh, by the way, we're now turning it off for these certain weapons, and then you can turn it off for other weapons that you don't want it on. There's probably going to be a whole new tab on the customization thing of like, turn it on for hand cannons, turn it off for this, turn it on for this, turn it off for that. So maybe that's the way it's going to go.
Either way, very
honestly, I just thought that they were going to put it on the weapon, like where your mods are. There's probably going to be like a toggle on the weapon itself to turn it off or on. Because having a global setting like that seems,
well, that was their entire point. Is they wanted to make it they want to make it part of the accessibility suite, along with now great. Well, yeah, that was the whole point of what the setting is. It's an accessibility thing, just like I'll say colorblind mode. Not that has had no problems and been flawless since the inception of the colorblind.
Oh yeah,
mode.
no, completely perfect.
Yeah,
by the way, still to this day.
Oh god,
you bring that up to this day.
Yeah,
I did Deep Stone Crypt with somebody. All the mods are still red. By the way, they're like, I got yellow, I got blue, I got red. I'm like, yeah, I have all of those, but they're all red. So, to this day, all the mods in Deep Stone Crypt with colorblind are all still red.
So Bungie, while you're doing those quality of life updates, fixing the accessibility things so people can actually play the game and see the colors would also be a welcome change.
Indeed.
Especially when the team uses, they're not like, hey, I got operator, hey, I got scanner. They're like, I got yellow, I got blue. What? Damn it.
Listen,
I got the one with the guy with the gun.
Listen, when you're putting the LFG post together, say must use name of mod, not color. Otherwise, this will all go very bad. Know what to do.
For Respawn, it's just chaos mode every time.
I'm not editing out all those scratches. You guys are going to have to put up with this week. I'm sorry.
What scratches?
You keep turning the bloody mic on or rubbing it up and down your chest or whatever you're doing with the blooming mic.
There's a switch that helps me turn it off and on. You're hearing when I turn the switch off and on? That's so stupid.
We're just hearing you move the mic around. And when you move the mic around, it's rubbing on things.
Are you rubbing on your nipples? Is this kind of SMR for the stream?
Yeah, just SMR. Not the A, just SMR.
Nope, just SMR. Exactly.
Anyway, On a related note, we're also aware that certain
Related to
melee...
what?
Shush, I was just going to continue and cut that bit out. On a related note, we're also aware that certain melees also require speedy clicking and are looking at something similar for a subset. For example, glaives, swords, and roaming super melees, though certainly not regular charge and uncharged melees. So there you go. They're going to be looking at maybe punchy all the time. That's going to be amazing on a Titan. I'm going to be like Muhammad Ali, just punch.
See, you
It'll-
say that, but you haven't read the whole TWAB, have you?
It'll be amazing if they fix the hit registration as well.
Oh, no. I'm shadowboxing at this point. I didn't say I was actually going to be hitting stuff. Shadowboxing.
No,
just,
because
just threatening you
like-
in the corner. I'm not going to do any damage. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
look cool doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to do the Muhammad Ali steps. I'm just going to be like, you can't touch me. Oh, yes, you can. Sorry. I just can't
they're
touch
making the
you.
improvements to melees, right?
Hmm.
But at the same time, they've also made all of our melee exotics work with the glaives, right? Everyone is like, yeah, we can use glaives with our melee exotics. Hold on. They've also nerfed the glaive. They've also nerfed every exotic that can be
jumping
used
ahead.
with the glaive. So-
And hit registration is still 50-50. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. So
yeah.
congratulations, everyone. We did it. What did we do? Not quite sure.
But hey, even though we've nerfed glaives and we've nerfed every exotic that works with the glaive, you can still use these exotics with the glaive now. Hey. Like, I actually thought in the beginning, I read the Syntheseps is going to work with the glaive. I'm like, oh, that's going to be brutal. And then later on, I saw they nerfed the Syntheseps. I'm like,
Well, that's why then. They've got to tweak it somehow.
yeah. No.
You
they
say no.
don't. No.
But
No.
if it was OP and Titans were synthecepting,
We
you
don't
with
even know if
glaives-
it's OP. This would be
Well,
an
they obviously
opportunity.
is. That's why they
I would allow Titans, Hunters, and
No,
Warlocks
no,
a
you
chance to
wouldn't.
be OP with a glaive
No,
at least for a
you
little bit
wouldn't.
before you
No,
nerfed it.
no, you wouldn't. Don't even
No.
go
I
there.
would.
Don't
I
even
love
pretend.
glaives. I want everyone to see the benefits of glaives, right?
If
I
you
was
rocked into
advocating for bows.
Crucible
Nobody
and
believed me. Now
no,
people use bows in PvP and PvE.
I've always
I
used
was
bows.
advocating for the glaives. Nobody believed me. And now, look, I'm telling you, glaives are way better than people think.
I know they are. I've been
If the
using
glaive
glaives since
meta
day one.
becomes a thing, PvP will have completely died.
Unless you're using glaives in the PvP to make it better, right? What
No.
do you mean no?
Again, I refer you to hit registration.
Okay.
Fix my hit registration, so every time I swing that glaive or that melee and it hits, then I will be happy with whatever glaive melee thing you want to give me. Until that point, every time I swing my fist or my glaive, and it's maybe it hits, maybe it doesn't. No, not interested.
I mean, it would make it fun. It would make for fun PvP because I've had to fight against glaives already. T-Rex is already like, oh, I'm gonna laugh when that comes back to bite you. I've gone against glaives in PvP. If they have that shield that blocks most incoming damage, you're like, daggone it, you're basically invincible until I come up and do something to you. But if I do that, then you're gonna 3-shot kill me, right? So there's that whole interaction right there. But if everybody's got a glaive, like everybody just like, I imagine PvP going from running and gunning to some kind of a Spartan-esque type of situation where everybody's got that shield until they get close enough to melee each other, and whoever melees first wins.
You know what I
right?
say about that?
Sounds terrible.
Crucible Labs.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
Sticking
Remove
to
all
Crucible Labs.
gameplay, remove all abilities. It's just glaives for everybody.
Yeah,
for
Crucible
a
Labs.
season.
We're right back, Bungie. We're right back to the Action Sack playlist. Give you know we had hammers and swords in Halo. Give me a hammers and swords playlist. Give me a melee only PvP experience. Crucible Labs. Come on, it's right
Indeed.
there.
So as Chris said earlier, and I'm going to reiterate what he said again, that they pulled some of the archetype changes from season 19 into the previous mid-season, although it wasn't mid-season, update. So with that said, there are some substantial, that's the word, changes here, particular to shotguns and glaives that Respawn was talking about. So let's talk about shotguns while we're here, because that is literally the next thing on the list, rather than glaives.
This is where I refer you to Fallout Plays.
No, he hasn't
shotgun
done his video yet. He hasn't done his video yet.
Well, no, I'm saying if you're looking at these charts and your eyes are rolling back in your head, go to Fallout Plays' channel, search his shotgun video, and it will explain what all these things mean. And now Nitedemon is going to attempt to explain to you what all these little
No,
pictures
Nitedemon
mean.
is going to explain. Literally, I'm going to explain it very easily. You know,
Just
they
tell
were
me like I'm
previously
5.
available to one hit kill people. They still can, even though they say that they can't. I've been one hit killed. I got shot across map by a chaperone the other day, and I was like, what? I was like miles away from you, but he still was able to shoot me in the head, whatever.
Mhm.
Anyway, and it was all kind of the bullets, the pellet spread. That's the word. The pellet spread was random. Now, Fallout, as Peroty said, has done many videos
You know,
on.
chaperone's a slug, right?
I know it is. I'm just saying. But even that was nerfed recently. So, as Peroty was saying, Fallout's done many videos of pellet spreads and different perks that kind of and different barrels that kind of pull in the pellets and different things. So, what Bungie have now done to really mess with you, Fallout, and everybody else, is completely change that. So we now get pellet spreads in
Oh,
shapes.
man.
How cool is that? And you've got to remember what shape goes with what
What's
archetype
the
of
liar's
shotgun.
handshake? What was the liar's handshake? Anybody remember that?
Liar's handshake.
I mean,
That's
what do
Yeah,
you mean?
what
Hunter
frame?
exotic.
It's an exotic armor piece.
Yeah, it's a Hunter exotic gauntlet.
I mean, God,
That would be a hunter arm frame. I think is what you're looking for. Forearm specifically. I think below the elbow.
The shot package for a perk.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh my God, you will hold on.
Fell Winters?
Thank you. Felwinter's lie. See, thank you. Felwinter's lie. Right? That already had a hex-shaped shot package on it. Now, what frame is that? And if the frame is different, how is it going to keep its shot package perk, or is it going to go with these new spreads?
Yes.
Bellwinter does what it wants. It's a shot package frame.
Yes. It has its
Oh,
own.
so it's unique anyway. Okay.
Yes.
So none of these changes. Okay, cool.
Well, who knows? Who knows what it? Well, who knows what it's actually going to be?
Yeah. It
It's
could
going to be whatever Fellwinters wants to be at this point because they've touched that gun so many times.
Fair enough. But no,
It'll be a
Fallout,
something.
to Parody's point, Fallout did put out a new video. It was about the TWAB, and he already talked about the best shotgun next season is probably going to be precision frame shotguns, just because of this pattern right here. It's a long oval vertical shape. So with this pellet spread, it'll be more likely to hit Guardians with every pellet in PvP.
Which one are you talking about? The precision?
Precision, yeah.
So oval shaped ones. So it's not a circle. There's a mini circle in the middle, obviously, because that's where the main point is. But then it ovally shoots.
So if I have a longer barrel, does that make me more accurate?
No, but I think the idea is
that he's got to do another one of those videos now.
I think yeah, Fallout is kind of practically right because a Guardian is lengthwise. They're not chunky wise. They are lengthwise. So precision might be probably the best one that you're going to hit all those pellets, or you've got a better chance of hitting all those pellets depending how far away you are. So yeah, let's go through these. So we have the aggressive, which is fixed evenly distributed cone, which is in a hexagon. It looks very pretty. It's a hexagon shape. Precision is the oval, and that includes duality hip fire and vertically oval. Lightweights are in a diamond. Pretty cool. Rapid fires are in a square. And slug shotguns, guess what they are in? Circle. So there you
Single
go.
slug.
Yes, one, that's it, in your head. Yeah, so I don't understand what the outer circle is. Just could that one go somewhere else? Maybe
That's probably the RNG-ness of you put the pellet right on their face, but it might hit them in the neck or might hit them in the top of the forehead. Because everything is RNG in this game, every single bullet.
So I mean, to Respawn's point with the Fellwinter's Lie, what do they kind of? I don't know if they fall under any kind of.
Well, Feral Winters, when it initially came out as a hexagon shot package. Remember, when you look at the shot package perk, it says it comes out in a hexagon, more predictable pattern, right?
Well, I mean, saying that, I mean, Fellwinter's Lie, the impact on that is, the RPM on that is a 55, and the impact is 80. Although it says that it's a shot package frame, it's exactly the same as the aggressive frame shotguns. They all are an RPM of 55, impact of 80, and that is Found Verdict, The Comedian, and Mindbender's Ambition. So you never know
Yeah, so
where
it's
when things like that are going to get touched. It could just fall into that kind of subsection of aggressive frame.
yeah, yeah. Because drop package does say aggressive frame shotgun modified to have a more uniform pellet spread. So it is technically an aggressive frame. So is it going to get the all aggressive frame shotguns now have an increased rate of fire after a kill as intended perk as well? Or is it going to shoot twice as fast like a machine gun because it's Fellwinter's line does what it wants?
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Ooh, can we put full auto on shotgun? No, you can't. We should.
You say you can't, but you don't know until it actually gets here.
There's a
Well,
mod
no.
slot.
If you remember
can put
back,
full
shotguns
auto.
were not included on the full auto retrofit. I remember that, right? But yeah, just a Fellwinter's Law, you just hold the button down, pop, 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 pop. You're out of ammo, but I guarantee the Guardian's dead.
Sounds like Fourth
And
Horseman to me.
I think the
Oh, don't get me
honestly,
started on that. I think next season the Fourth Horseman's going to make a comeback in an amazing way. But we'll get to that in a minute.
no.
Okay.
I think it's the dead weight from either Gambit or Dares is full auto. There's a couple of full auto shotguns out there. I'm not saying they're worth using in PvP, but they exist.
Rapid fires tend to be full auto.
The Matador, I've got a full auto trigger system on that.
Yep, and then the Hawk lady, what's her name?
Hawk Lady.
Mm-hmm. Lady with the hawk.
Lewis. Her name is Lewis.
Her name's not Lewis.
See, the Matador is a precision frame, but that has a full
Hawthorne.
auto trigger system. And then I have the Ikelos shotgun, which again is rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then the Hawthorne, thank you. Hawthorne field forward shotgun is full auto. Thank you, T-Rex. That's what I was thinking of.
Who still has that one kicking around? Come on now.
I do. I got some good rolls on that one, as a matter of fact.
yeah,
sir.
the dead weight is a rapid fire frame as well. So yeah, that's full auto. So yeah, there are rapid fire full auto trigger systems available on some shotguns like the Matador, which let's not talk about that.
No. But if you do want to talk about them, they are getting a 5% PvE damage increase. And the reload speed benefit for the rapid fires now always applies instead of only applying while reloading on an empty mag. So you can now shoot them even faster.
The Matador is not a rapid fire frame. The Ikelos is a rapid fire frame. And so
Why do you keep talking about the Matador then? Why does that keep coming up?
Because it's got a perk on it for auto trigger system.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, I have a bunch of adept Matadors and stuff. I think it's Matador.
No, it's not adept Matador. A comedian, it'd probably be. Because that was the Nightfall.
Oh, I have a bunch of Matadors, just not adept. I see. And then a bunch of Mind Benders adept. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
So sidearms are now much more viable in PvP.
Yeah, they are.
Since the 6.2.5 buff. But this causes notable overbuffing to Drang. Yes, it did.
You think?
Yeah. Allowing it to compete too far out of sidearm range. So they're going to reduce the zoom stat on Drang and Drangburg from 14 to 13 and hope that that does that. I don't think it will. I still think it's going to be very OP in PvP, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a player that gets shot in the head by it a lot. It was literally, it was literally the only thing in Trials last week. And speaking of Trials last week, I know I joked to you guys and Respawn, you were like, ha ha ha, you get to go flawless, blah blah blah, if you blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, it's, if I was communicating with the team, and carve out a bit of time. So I carved out a bit of time on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I did not go flawless, but I got 6 wins and I was so close. But starting out in Trials, and I got, I think the first game I lost, and I was like, because I wasn't in it to get to the lighthouse.
Was it capture the zone last week?
Yes, I was in
That's
it.
why. That's the best time to play.
I was in it to get just the Whistler's Whim because I needed to get to rank 16 to get the bow, because that's the only thing I kind of wanted this season from that. But then after that, I won 6 games in a row, and I'm not saying that I was the best player. But there were amazing people.
Hey, I was a part of 6 games in a row that had been won on my card.
Exactly. And I got to the 7th game and I was like, oh my God, I could go. I know, when you think that, that's it. It's over.
Yeah, you could see the lighthouse in the distance. You're like, I can see it. I can smell the air. I can smell the nice
If
sun
only I'd got
sun-kissed
the
chest
same
waiting
guy
for
that
me.
I got on the game 6 that just went in and decimated the opposite team on my team for the 7th game.
Oh,
Unfortunately, he wasn't around for the 7th game. I just
What's his name? ZK Mushroom.
it was I don't know what it was, but he was like, "Are you
was
guys going to catch up with me and kill anybody yet?" Like
Uh-uh.
we were just coming out
Nope.
of spawn and he'd killed all 3. We're like, "Okay,
yeah,
this is how this is going to go down."
yeah, no, absolutely. Our job, sir, is not to die, so you can carry us to victory. That's that's what we're here for.
But
But
Drang
see,
last
like
week
people like
was
him, like I bring him up because him and a few other YouTubers that I've been paying attention to, and yes, they're PvP YouTubers. And even though I don't play, you know, the whole know thine enemy is still a thing, right? Um,
You will
they
never
have a
see ZK
tendency
mushrooms.
to like keep creating new accounts because what they like to do is they like to go incognito and have these competitions where they carry people to the lighthouse and the people don't know who they are, right?
Yeah,
And then when they're like that, oh, guess what? Huh? My name isn't Todd, it's ZK Mushroom. Like, oh, ZK Mushroom, no one you got, right? But here you got Todd, right, who just started the game, has like blue weapons and whatnot, just railing your team, and you have no idea what's going on. And it turns out it's one of these high class YouTubers that are just playing games and carrying people to the lighthouse, and you're the victim, you know? I'm just like, ugh. You know, and they have so many of these that even if they go to the lighthouse, they switch to Todd. Todd goes to the lighthouse. Now they got Kevin. Kevin goes to the lighthouse. Well, here's Bill. Bill goes to the lighthouse.
well,
So they got all these characters that aren't being put in the flawless only pool that you have to deal with.
I don't really. I think there's enough better players than me that I don't ever feel like this is going to be an issue for me
No,
ever in my life. There are plenty of people who are better than this than me who don't need to be world class PvP players.
exactly. But yes, I was just kind of pointing out that Drang last week and was very potent and a lot of people were using it. I stuck with my Le Monarch and Auto Rifle build, and I think I did quite well on a Titan. I'm getting the use of like not holding it with Oath Keepers and just getting the one shot off. So I feel I'm improving. You know,
Yeah,
I did
use
feel a
use
bit
what works for
cheating
you.
with the double storm grenades on Armamentarium, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. Use them while they're good.
The
It's in
other
the game.
weapon,
Use it.
the other weapon that was kind of rearing its head last week, which I was thinking, oh my god, I can't believe that shot me from that distance, is the main ingredient. And Bungie also agree with me that that weapon is like,
It just keeps getting nerfed, and you can't kill the daggum thing.
well, no, they're going to reduce the stability
Yeah,
from
but they've
49
nerfed it
to
and nerfed it and
35.
nerfed it and nerfed it. They haven't given it a buff in a while. They just keep nerfing it,
We don't need
and
to
the
buff
nerf
it if
just
it's
doesn't
already.
seem to be enough.
Well, they're going to reduce the stability from 49 to 35 and reduce the aim assist stat from 59 to 45 and hope that it goes from being slightly out of band into band and it's still usable for good players, but not, you know, over the top for just average players, I guess.
Uh-huh. Now, what I noticed when I was playing is everybody and their grandma is using Witherhoard. Everybody. Like, just every game I played, no matter what corner you turn, there's a Witherhoard puddle just kind of hanging out, right? Now, did I hate the Witherhoard in PvP? Actually, no. I thought it was being used really well as a zone denier to funnel you where they want you to go, and I think it's really good gameplay that they do that. But I don't think it deserved the nerf that Bungie just did to it. And I think is it a global nerf or just a PvP nerf? I don't know.
Well,
But I think it's a global nerf,
We'll
right?
get to that in a
Well, why
second.
don't you tell about the glaives first? Because we're there. Because
Well,
we've got glaives and hand.
I'll read the
We've got
glaives,
glaives
yeah.
and hand cannons and things to get through first. I don't know yet. I haven't read
Okay.
that far.
But I
Sure
haven't
enough.
finished the
So-
fusion rifle. Can I tell people about the fusion rifle reticles? Don't react much to change in accuracy during firing or jumping. They're going to rebuild the fusion rifle hip fire reticle so that it reacts to changes in the accuracy cone, if that makes sense. So jumpy, it's going to do stuff.
So let me get this straight. I've been shooting people that were using sniper rifles, linear fusions, and now fusions, and they weren't actually, taking that fire to knock the reticle off me, and that's why they were able to kill me in one shot all this
That's
time.
right.
Were you
Yeah.
jumping? Because if you were
No,
jumpy,
they were jumpy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Who jumps?
were they jumpy?
No, they were pre-firing, walking around the corner and wasting me
Oh.
while I lay into them with many bullets, and they go, "Yeah, I ate your bullets. They're tasty."
And it's like, you may have a lot of bullets, but I just need the one.
Mhm. Well, one team of bullets really for a fusion rifle. Yeah,
But
tell
you
me
also
about
mentioned
glaives
sniper, so.
and their hit
All right,
registration.
glaive projectiles have not hit our quality bar for hit registration yet, so we've reworked them.
Yay!
Now, are they talking about the projectiles or the melees? Because the projectiles hit, the melees are sketchy.
Well, apparently neither are the projectiles hitting either, so 2 for 2.
Okay. We're also loosening the restrictions on some melee damage exotics. See, we're loosening the restrictions on some melee exotics and have adjusted base melee damage and some PvE damage scalars to avoid degenerate damage multipliers. AKA, guys, you can use glaives with exotic gloves though, or exotic
Gauntlets.
armor,
Gauntlets
but
would be the word you're looking for.
right, gauntlets. Anyway, glaive projectiles have been adjusted for more reliable hit detections over the network. Glaive melee attacks can now benefit from exotic armor perks on Syntheseps, Worm God
Yay.
Caress,
Yay!
and Winter's Guile. Now,
Yay!
I don't know what the last two do. I know Syntheseps is dangerous. When I saw this, I was like, oof, that's going to hurt in PvP. I don't know what the other two, though. What are the other two? Anybody know?
Well, the Winter's Guile is the Warlock, and the Worm God Caress is the Titan. And the Worm God Caress is melee kills increase melee damage for a period of time. Additional kills extend the duration and increase the effects. So that's your
Cool.
Worm God Caress.
So it's like a rampage for melees. Okay. Good.
Yeah, and Winter's Guile has the Warlord's Sigil perk, which eliminating enemies with melee attacks increases your melee damage.
Same thing. All right, gotcha.
So use it, keep using it better.
Mm-hmm. And if you use it with our solar melee, that if you were lucky enough to get from Vow of the Disciple, that has both Grave Robber
Solar melee?
and
He means
Swashbuckler
Solar
on it.
Glaive. The Solar
Gotcha.
Glaive.
That's what I
Gotcha.
said. What
No,
did I
you
say?
said melee.
You said solar melee, and I was very confused
Did I?
how you were
Oh,
getting
my bad.
melees out of raids.
The Solar Glaive from Vow of the Disciple can roll, or if you can craft it, to have both Swashbuckler and Grave Robber. So you fire off a couple of rounds, you kill something with it, it autofills your magazine, and now you have max damage stacks, and you add it with one of these Worm God Caress or Winter's Guile. That's a potent combination. Or at least it would have been had they not nerfed both glaives and exotics. And we're going to see what out.
You're talking about the Lubre's Ruin, yes?
Yes, that's exactly
Yes.
what I'm talking about.
Good.
Okay, glaive melee damage multipliers reduced by 25 to 30% against champions, mini bosses, and vehicles. That is not a small debuff, guys.
Yeah, but I think the thing is you could just stand there and just tank the poor old champions and beat them into submission.
They don't want videos of people
them.
6-manning raid bosses with glaives. That's what this is.
Yeah, but you can't. Okay, so glaives give you a little bit of extra damage mitigation, and if you can time the shield perfectly, sure, I get that, right?
Well, you can still do that now. They're not saying you can't do that, but
they've reduced
damage
the
multiplier
damage
is
by
reduced.
1/4 to 1/3.
No, the damage multiplier is reduced.
Still, that's a lot. That is a big debuff, guys.
Yeah, but if you're still doing what you're doing, then you can still do it.
Normally use it on. Normally I use a glaive on champions. That's the primary use for me for.
But they're not saying, look, there's not a line underneath going respawn. You cannot use this now.
No, it's just that you'd be an idiot if you did.
Copy there is.
No, it's not even saying that. It's saying you can still do this, but this is what it's being reduced to.
Like, damage against major and minor enemies is unchanged. Well,
there you go.
Glaive melee base damage is reduced. So even the base damage is reduced from 75 to 67. Base damage is reduced. Damage multipliers are reduced. It's all reduced.
Are people really out here like wailing on bosses with glaives?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, dude. Oh my god, yeah. And then like,
of all your options,
raids where you have like unstoppables. That unstoppable pops up. You shoot him 3 times with a glaive. His health is low enough for you to just finish him off when you walk up to him. Oh, absolutely, dude.
I guess that's what you do if you don't have storm grenades.
So hand cannons, they've updated the stats for hand cannons that used to be lightweights and now adaptives. We didn't touch Rose because Rose is that new hand cannon I say new, reprised hand cannon that is coming back next week for the competitive playlist in PvP, and you can get 3 a week, 1 per character. So that now that Rose is returning, they've adjusted its stats for a smoother reintegration. So they've updated Rose's stats to work for an adaptive hand cannon. So does that mean that the one that you've got in your collections will be updated as well? Would that kind of be retroactive? That would be nice to know if somebody
we got
goes,
the
well, I
numbers
don't
here.
like what
Tuesday,
you're
let's look at what's in our inventory and compare it to these numbers.
Yeah,
Let's
because
see
if
if it
somebody's
works.
like, I don't like what you've done with Rose here, I'll go back and pull out the old one and it's doing something different. That's a thing, Bungie. So it would be nice to know if it's kind of across board. But anyway, they've increased the range from 38 to 43, reduced stability from 45 to 40, and reduced the handling from 68 to 60. And the airborne effectiveness is 20. Okay, because we need to know that because they're still going to go on about airborne effectiveness. But
Just
the
give it
thing
up,
is,
Bungie.
these are the base range, stability, and handling stats. Again, you can put mods on there. You can put masterworks on there. The barrels and grips and things will also change this. So those are just the base ones.
Yeah, well, once we get to the mods, sorry, you're gonna see the mods, and hand cannons next season are coming back with revenge. Okay, like some of these mods that are gonna work with hand cannons, just
You
it's gonna
are
make
getting
them
so excited about different things.
ridiculous.
We're jumping all over the place, but I want to talk about blinding
Well, we
effect.
just talked about hand cannons, and I want to know why they didn't talk about that right there. They just talked about the rose and not the rest.
Because we're going over these things first.
That's in the mod section. You said it yourself.
Yeah,
I
Mods
guess.
have their own section.
I guess.
grenade launchers, the Queensbreaker, and Grand Overture.
Let me
all
read. You've done a
previously
lot of
used-
reading. Let me do stuff. I'm
No.
bored.
The Queenbreaker and Grand Overture all previously used
Mom, he's
older
not letting me
blinding
read.
screen effects, which have affected some players and could feel jarring and pose some photosynthesis concerns. I like to say photosensitivity concerns. That's the word.
Photosensitivity. Yes.
I said it in the end. Leave me be.
Flashy's bad.
Yes, it upset people. So they're going to switch these to the new arc blind effect, which has significantly reduced screen effect brightness and is overall less intrusive. Still does a thing where you're kind of blind, so it's a good thing.
Kind of
Weapon
blind.
mods. Yeah,
I was
weapon mods.
practicing with Micah in 1v1s to see the different effects that different things do that we always argue about. And when he shoulder charged me as an Arc Titan, I couldn't see anything until I was already dead because he hits you, he blinds you, he knocks you in the air, and by the time you land on the ground, he follows it up and you're dead. So you're blind until you die.
Does he hit you with the Budokai?
No, he just double melees me. He does the shoulder charge and then just melees me again, and I'm done. It's game over.
I just want people to hear Budokai in his voice. That's all.
Oh, well.
And weapon mods that increase the effects of the weapon's perks do not make for interesting decisions. So we've made a long-awaited and long-requested change for them. So now we're talking about some mods. So these are the mods that you can put, like the Dragonfly spec, the Rampage spec, the Surrounded spec. These perks now have their spec mods behavior enabled by default. So they're upping what kind of the Dragonfly does now. So
They've
it'll
made
be-
the mods the default behavior so they can get rid of the mods.
Well, yeah, that's basically. Well, no, they've
Okay.
made the
No, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
It's not basically.
They talked about this like a million years ago. Yeah, basically saying this is silly. They're too weak without the mods. If you're going to use it, you're going to use the mods. So let's just make the base ones same as the mods. So it's finally here. Go back 6 months to hear what they talked about originally.
But yeah, it's not the Dragonfly spec mod is being taken away. So it's just going to be the Dragonfly perk on the weapon will do what the Dragonfly mod perk did, yeah? And the Rampage spec
We're
will
not
just
saying the
now
same
be-
thing a fourth time. Yep.
Yes, no, but I'm saying it's not a mod now. I'm saying it's the perk.
I know they've removed the mods and
I'm
made
gonna
the
slap you.
Yes. If
Yes.
you have
Move fast.
Rampage on if you have Rampage on a weapon, it will work as if you had the mod on without needing the mod. Same for Dragonfly and Surrounded.
Well, okay, then look, if you're gonna get upset that I'm reading everything and telling people the things, you can continue with perks.
So you've gotten used to recording everything offline and hanging out by yourself. You forgot this is a team effort. Peroty and I have just been commenting on what you're saying. You're not giving us a job to do, bro. All right. I
Right.
like to read. All
Fine.
right.
I'm staying quiet for the rest of the TWAB. Then.
And even if I don't like to read, sometimes I just hate your voice.
Fair enough. A lot of
Everyone
people
loves
do.
his voice.
Uh, Headseeker. Headseeker's been boring and a questionably useful
What-
perk on most pulse rifles for quite a
what-
while.
what-
What,
what about-
do you
what-
want?
What about air assault? Are we just gonna skip air assault?
He's skipping air
Did I
assault.
skip it?
You sure did. We
Oh,
just
I
started.
did. I'm so sorry. Okay, my
You
bad.
gotta take it from the top. All right, and
Yeah,
3,
no, my bad.
2, 1, action.
Reworks. We're not happy how the prior redesign of Air Assault turned out, so we've taken a second pass at it. It now directly rewards success and is much more dependable for players. Air Assault now, and this is Tuesday, not now grants a stacking bonus to airborne effectiveness. A maximum of, you ready? 2 stacks. I know, right? Just woohoo! 2 stacks. That's crazy. 1 per final blow and 2 per airborne final. Each stack is about 30 aerial effectiveness. So, yo, that's what I'm talking about.
So can you get plus 60 in total? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's confusing. They first said 2 stacks, and then they said a stack for final blow, and then 2 per airborne final. So
So you could get 90. No?
I'm still going to say 60, because you
Well,
can get
one-
2
one
stacks
per
if your
final
final
blow.
blow. I have no idea, man.
1 per final
This
play,
is
and
Bungie.
2 per airborne final. Okay, yeah, whatever.
2 is a lot of stacks.
All out,
yeah.
please make a video. Explain it to me. Like and 5, thank you.
Headseeker has been a boring and questionably useful perk on most pulse rifles for quite a while. So we have redesigned it as well. Body shots now increase your precision multiplier and increase aim assist. Additional body shots reset the timer to 1. It has a 0.55 base timer. Body shots while Headseeker is active reset the timer.
So this is very similar to the Fate of All Fools perk that's on the Jade Rabbit. So chaining body shots to gain bonus damage on your next precision.
That was the old Jade Rabbit, buddy.
No, that's still what it is now.
Yeah, but by the time this comes out, it will no longer be
Oh,
that.
fair enough.
Yep. Encore. See this. Ooh, if this. Ooh. Okay. Encore's initial implementation was a little complex and fiddly to use. So we've redesigned that one too. Final blows now grant stacks of Encore, and stacks grant increased stability, range, and accuracy. Body shot final blows grant 1 stack, precision final blows grant 2 stacks, and with a maximum of 4 stacks. Last 7 seconds. The enhanced lasts 7.5 seconds. So, yo, go get that enhanced. That's a big upgrade. Either way, they refresh. Final blows refresh this timer. Now, each stack. Again, you can get 4 of these. Each stack gives you 8 stability up to 24, I believe, 5 range up to 20, and 1.25 accuracy up to 5% total. Right? So each stack gives you 8 stability, 5 range, and 1.25% accuracy times 4, and you get those big numbers. That's kind of nutty. And especially if it lasts 7 seconds, you could easily pick up another kill in PvP with that. So this round, barring anything else, is going to make hand cannons come back so much worse than what they've been so far. You know?
Well, at the
Increase their
moment,
stability and their range and their accuracy by that much? Golly.
So like most of Destiny.
at the moment, the on precision kills gives 10 range per stack and up to 30 range on 3 stack. And on non-precision kills, it removes 1 stack, and if at 0 stacks, it improves the accuracy and grants 30 stability, last 7 seconds. So they've taken down the range, but they've given you that extra bit of stability.
And accuracy. And
Yeah.
as we all know, accuracy means a smaller cone, means more aim assist, right? So the more of these
Until
stacks
you
you get, the more range you get, the more stability you get, and the more aim assist you get per stack. That's crazy. That is going to be absolutely bananas. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm saying hand cannons specifically, but Encore rolls on auto rifles. It rolls on pulse rifles. It rolls on a lot of different weapons. You can get Encore on a lot of weapons, right? But I just don't think it's going to have the same effect on, let's say, an auto rifle as it will on a hand cannon. You know, I could be wrong. We might be going back into an auto rifle or a scout rifle or a pulse rifle meta next season because of Encore. But I just think it's more dangerous on hand cannons than the other ones I mentioned. But we'll see. Moving on, Seraph rounds. Seraph rounds will be appearing on more weapons next season. But in its current form, it is the strongest magazine perk by a large margin. So we pulled it back a little bit and made it more of a trade-off. So they removed the 10% range scaler and now give it plus 7% stability and 3 range. So for those of you that don't know Seraph rounds come on the weapons that come from the brain, the
Kylos
robot
weapons.
brain. Huh?
Oh, there was only Kylos weapons.
Kilos, thank you. Robot Warmind is what I was trying to think. The Warmind themed weapons, right? So shotgun, the submachine gun, the sniper rifle. It was really good on the sniper rifle if you had that and 4 times the charm, and then whatever. It was really that was like the god roll. And then what else do they have? They don't have an auto rifle, do they? Yeah, they do have an auto rifle, but I don't think that one gets Seraph rounds, does it?
Don't know.
Anyway, so Seraph rounds is really, really good on Aikilos weapons. So now it's less good. It removed that way buffed up range of 10 and loaded it to 3. But see, it says it removed 10% range scaler and gave it
Right.
plus 3 range. Now, I don't know how those interact with each other. The percentage range scaler versus a flat 3 range, right? I'm not sure how big of a nerf that is. But you're getting a lot more stability too. So what you lose in range, you're making up for in stability plus a smidge range. So,
And I'm curious what they're going to roll on because it says they'll be appearing more next season. So, or does that mean those weapons, Warmind weapons, are coming back into the pool? Are they going to slap those onto the new seasonal activity? You know, where are those? I'm
thinking the second thing. I'm thinking because it said it's going to appear on more weapons, not those weapons are going to appear more often. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm thinking more weapons are going to get to use it besides Warmind.
Well, funny thing is, and I'm going to mention this because I've got a video in the show notes for it, is that the people have been like guessing at what's coming next season, and there's been I'd say a large following of people going, it's got to be something to do with Rasputin, and here are the things, you know, the sweeper bots in the Elixir Quarter, they've got the Rasputin symbol on it. But what was quite funny, I saw a video from Travy Dead, basically saying Bungie leaked the Rasputin a year ago. And he takes you back through the Witch Queen reveal, which happened like over a year ago. And literally, when they were going through the weapons and how they were going to do the Forge and the Enclave and things like that of the different weapons that were coming back, they featured the Seventh Seraph weapon sets and like hinted at Rasputin there and then, way back when, that this would be coming. We haven't had those Seventh Seraph weapons yet to kind of go into the Enclave. So if they said in the Witch Queen reveal, then this is the last season. So, you know, he got things right. Yeah, they kind of teased it a year ago and we completely missed it, as we all do. Very interesting.
T-Rex said he saw it.
Well, T-Rex did tell us to tell people.
Oh, did he? Oh, nice.
No, he didn't. That's what I'm saying. You can't hang on to that information, T-Rex, and don't tell the people.
You see that, T-Rex? You had it and you didn't share it with us. You're a bad person.
You didn't make your own video like the other guy did.
Gets very cranky if you don't share information with them.
Oh, if you have info and you don't tell me, I'm very upset at you. That's true. That's IRL. Just keep in mind. But yeah. So what I miss, what makes Seven Seraph weapons amazing is the Seraph rounds, which now got nerf buffed, kind of whatever. But the Warmind cells, I know a lot of the new light players have no idea what I'm talking about. But Seraph 7 weapons and solar weapons had a chance to drop something called a Warmind cell. It looked like a little tiny sun, right? Bigger than like a mote of light, but smaller than like a solar grenade, right? And
big red ball.
That little ball could do so many things. It could weaken enemies. It could buff you up. It could increase your fire speed. It could explode. You could pick it up and throw it like a bomb. I mean, you could do all kinds of things with this little Warmind cell. And depending on your build, it was just devastating, right? Warmind cells were amazing, and then Bungie tried to get rid of Warmind cells by bringing in Wells. Nobody liked Wells, so then they had to nerf Warmind cells into
Well,
the ground
they
to force
adjusted.
us to use Wells.
They adjusted the
And
Warmind cells, but they did that. I think that was at the beginning of Witch Queen or the season just before, because I think they knew what was coming at the end of Witch Queen, which is this season coming up, with potentially more Warmind cell builds coming back to the forefront. And with that, if you are missing out on Warmind cell mods, check Ada 1 in the tower and the gunsmith, like literally weekly, because they will kind of tell you or give you kind of the mods if you're new to the game. And also, I think Andy in our chat posted a link, didn't he, Peroty? Did you saw that one? Because I think you commented on it.
Yes.
yeah, about what mods are coming, what weeks.
Yes, no, there's a mod kind of checker that you can kind of set yourself up to kind of put in your kind of gamer tag, and it will notify you when a mod that you don't have, any mod that you don't have, comes up and who's selling it that day in the tower. So if I can find it,
DestinyReminders.net.
there you go.
So if you go to DestinyReminders.net, you can look at Ada, Banshee, Zur. If it's got your lost sectors, if you're saying, hey, I want to make sure I get to arms stay in the lost sector, you can set one up for that. Exo challenges, scanner augments, nightmare hunts, ascendant challenges, blind well bosses. I mean, there's a number of things here. You basically say like, hey, I want to go see what Ada 1's selling, and it will list all of the mods Ada 1 can sell. So if there's one you've been hunting, you can say, hey, let me know when this pops up, and it will send you a little notification and go, hey, this is available. Buy it today in this 24 hours before the next daily reset, or you have to wait till it comes up again, which could be a very long time. So yeah, DestinyReminders.net, all one word.
I'm there, but I'm not really seeing what you're talking about because, like, it says Banshee current. Like, I go to 801, right? Because there are some mods that even I don't have. It's like one or
Right.
two that I'm missing.
So
And
up in
it
the
goes
top,
to
top
current.
right hand corner, there's a little symbol.
Click on.
Yeah.
So say you want the we'll say you want the Aiden, the ardent
Oh,
orange.
you have to sign in.
Ardent or
okay.
no, you don't.
You
Well, I
don't.
mean, maybe I did it previously. Okay. So you do have to right. So you do have to sign in with your Bungie.net account, which I apparently did at some point. Then if you go to Ada 1 and say Bountiful Wells, I've been trying to find Bountiful Wells. So you click on that in the list, and then it says email. Put in your email address, and it will send you an email when Bountiful Wells is available. Rinse and repeat for anything else you're hunting for.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's just taking too long to sign in. There we go. All right.
So I must have signed in when you sent it originally. So yeah, DestinyReminders.net. And thank you, Andy13, from the land down under for this important information, because this is not a thing I realized
it
existed.
really highlights
It's
it for you,
super
too.
handy.
Yeah.
It's not just mods. It's like, oh man, it's not even just mods. It's like Nightfall, the ordeal. It tells you what you need to do to get the ordeal done. Wandering Nightmare. Oh man, this is
I've got nightmare hunts I haven't done properly.
Wow,
Crota, Zydron, Fogoth, Gold, and
I'm gonna have to
Tanix.
save this.
Apparently.
Page. Nice little reminder.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And because I know somebody's going to ask, DestinyReminders.net.
It will be in the show notes. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, but if they do come back, public service announcement. If what Nitedemon says is correct, and we do start seeing Warmind builds again, if you don't have Warmind mods, don't shoot the Warmind cell.
God.
It's not yours.
Well, no, if it is yours, if it's yours and you made it, you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, if you
But
made
if
it, you
it's
do
not
whatever you want.
yours,
But if it's not yours, leave it alone, because the person that made this mod, made this Warmind cell, his mods are doing things with this cell. Okay, and if you blow it up and you don't have any mods, you've negated everything he's trying to do. Okay, leave it alone. You didn't make it. It's not yours. Don't touch it. Walk away. Right? I know saying it is very tempting. Believe me. Leave it alone.
the more you keep repeating yourself, I feel a song coming on.
Oh shoot.
You can't tell me what to do.
I can't tell you what
Tunnel
to do.
vision.
For tunnel vision plus kill clip not being refreshable while active has always been counterintuitive. So we've now set them up to allow that. That being said, this makes kill clip too strong compared to other damage perks, so we pulled it back a little bit. Duration of these buffs can now be refreshed if activated while already active. That is huge. I don't think you guys realize how big a deal that is. But
do.
to compensate, they've reduced kill clip damage from 33% to 25%. It's still big. It's just not as big as it was. That could very well change TTK of a lot of weapons in PvP. But still, the fact that you can refresh without it, going away is kind of awesome. I do dig it. And what that means is tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is the more kills you get, the better your stability and stuff, right?
After reloading with 6 seconds of a weapon kill, reloading after defeating a target greatly increases target acquisition and ADS speed for a short duration. So it basically gives you
20% aim down sight speed. Yep.
Yeah, it gives you 20% to aim. Sorry. Oh, don't refresh on me, game. 20 to aim assist, a minus 20 to your accuracy cone size, handling and you're handling ADS only for 5 seconds. It gives you a buff that cannot be refreshed until now.
Nice.
And the enhanced version is your buff duration is increased.
Redirection. And redirection is a perk we discussed a couple weeks back when we were talking about the Deep Stone Crypt weapons. It's you do damage to rank and file enemies, and when you start to fire on the yellow bar, you get increased damage on that yellow bar based on how many stacks you've got. Okay. So redirection didn't use our standard method for checking for weak versus strong enemies. So we've changed it to be consistent with other perks since it'll be appearing on more weapons. Nice. Now builds stacks against red bar enemies and consumes them on everything else. That's cool. I.e., matches minor spec and other perks that use similar language, which also means it's going to be useless in in-game activities where you have hardly any red bars. That's cool. I like that. Buffs. Peroty, I think it's your turn to talk a little bit.
All the buffs. We want players to be able to use the Hake Breach Armament origin trait to bring down the Ward of Dawn, the Well of Radiance, and the Stasis Crystals in PvP. So they're increasing the damage versus the Ward of Dawn and Well of Radiance sword by 30%, 60% if you have the artifact mod installed, equipped, whatever. Your damage bonus against Stasis Crystals has been increased by 15% with both base and the artifact mod, so 15% across the board no matter what you do. Your compulsive reloader, which I am a compulsive reloader, your speed benefit is enjoyable.
You skipped one. But
oh my god, I did. I even using my favorite things on the
but no,
talking
about what you just said, right? Now for the sword, I get, because some people shoot the sword, some people are brave enough to take on a warlock in as well, right? Because if you can do about 420 damage, you can one-shot him no matter what. So the well does nothing to help him. But a bubble, if I see a bubble titan, my little hunter brain isn't thinking, gee, I wonder if I can destroy the bubble. No, I'm staying away from the titan until he's done doing whatever he wants to do. I'm not thinking, you know what? I'll just pull out my pulse rifle and I'll take down a titan bubble with a Hake pulse rifle. No. I don't know why they did this.
You'll use a Hake auto rifle, obviously.
Even an auto rifle, dude. Okay. A Hake rocket launcher, I can see that. Hake grenade launcher, I can see that. But like an auto rifle or a pulse rifle or a scout rifle or a sidearm or a head cannon, let's take down a Titan bubble with 6 auto rifles. It's just it doesn't make any sense why they would make this kind of change, man. And why Hake specifically? What does Hake do? Breach armaments? So what does breach armaments come on? Is that the origin trait? Yeah, it is the origin trait.
Yes, it is.
So does that origin trait come on all their weapons, including rocket launchers?
Yeah, breach armaments is this weapon deals increased damage against vehicles, turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals. 15% increased damage against vehicles and constructions or constructs. 30% increased damage against turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals.
Yeah.
So it does come on rocket launchers. Yes, I see it does come on rocket launchers. All right, cool. So
it's a straight buff to what it does. I mean, it says it does this thing, now it's going to do that thing better. So you should be thrilled. It's a straight buff. Just a buff.
Straight buff, but unless it's on a rocket launcher, which it is, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Or a grenade launcher, which I don't know. Apparently, I don't have any Hake grenade launchers. That doesn't make any sense. It's like, let's challenge a Titan bubble with a pulse rifle. You're gonna die, dude.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily they're not like specifically buffing it for that, but they're buffing it against all these things, which include bubbles and swords, bubbles and Ward of Dawn swords, not regular
Okay.
swords.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like it buffs it against all these things. Those things are in it's just like when you give a buff to an entire archetype of weapon, every weapon gets that buff. You give it to this origin trait, it's going to work in everywhere the origin trait works. And now they're just like, maybe let's make it work a little bit better for this, because maybe there's something coming in the next season that it would be beneficial to take those down more. Maybe there's some sort of activity where it would be beneficial for us to be able to get into bubbles or take down wells. Or maybe there's a mechanic and they're like, we know you're just going to pop down bubbles and wells, and we're really tired of you all doing that. So we're going to make it easier for something to defeat it. Maybe those big giant angry cabal will all have Hake origin things on their weapons and nuke us that way in Nightfall.
What about the light bearing hive? I'm trying to remember. Do any of those guys pop a bubble?
No, they throw shields at you.
That's
Nor
right.
do
They
they have
do.
a Ward of
So
Dawn.
it wouldn't even be good against those guys, honestly. So, all right. Cut shot straight is one you skip, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Which is one that they tweaked the audio on that I had never heard because who pays attention to audio? It shipped a little weak on auto rifles, and so we've bumped it up a little. They increased the body shot damage 10% to 20%. So auto rifles with the gut shot straight gonna get a buff. Fine, great. Assuming I have any left because I was deleting them all because I didn't know what that perk did. Compulsive reloader. Your reload speed benefit is enjoyable, but on certain weapon types doesn't remain active deep enough into the magazine, making it very silly. It now remains active remains active down to half ammo. So the first half of your clip, whatever that clip size is on whatever weapon with your compulsive reloader, the first half of it is going to give you that reload speed buff. Fun, good times. The high impact frame intrinsic perk can be a little hard to use since it switches off with a little movement. We've tweaked it so that slow movement, like crouching or strafing, doesn't deactivate the perk. So yeah, you can now allow a small amount of movement with the high impact frame intrinsic perk. Or, you will on Tuesday. Ambitious Assassin's recent adjustment gives it a remarkably high potential for overflowing a magazine. But in areas with sparse enemies, it can be hard to chain kills quickly enough to actually get much benefit from it. So they've given you 2 extra seconds. So the allowed time between kills goes from 5 to 7 seconds for your Ambitious Assassin to hopefully let you be a little more ambitious with your assassinations. Well-rounded. The duration was increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Stacking the effect still resets the timer. Anybody remember what well-rounded does?
Well-rounded is throwing a grenade or hitting a target with a charged melee grants a stacking bonus to weapon stability, handling, and range. Using a super grants maximum stacks.
So you're going to have more seconds to use that. Excellent.
You get 10 range, 10 stability, and 10 handling per stack, and it lasts for 10 seconds. And then an enhanced buff is increased to 11 seconds.
Yeah, so it'll now be 15 seconds at base, so 16 seconds enhanced?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And yes, enhanced, because when you hear Nitedemon say it, it gets stuck into your brain that way. Recombination has some reliability issues, so we've made some tweaks and adjusted the damage. This was important since it's now going to be available on new weapons. So they've tweaked it to make it function in PvP as intended. It now grants 100% bonus damage at max stacks in PvE and 50% bonus damage in PvP. Respawn, what does recombination do?
Elemental final blows increase the damage of this weapon's next shot. So mainly this is found on the kinetic versions of the Deepstone Crypt weapons, which is the shotgun and the sniper. So the more damage you do with an element-based weapon, next time you pull this gun out, depending on how many stacks you've gained, that first shot's going to do hella extra damage. The numbers to which he just told you.
Yeah, now you be more extra damage and work in PvP. Now, for a moment of zen, Here's in a moment will provide you an extraordinarily strong, if not well understood, redirection to recoil angle, but missing would reset the perk completely, making it difficult to sustain. So your Zen moment will no longer deactivate on a miss, and now has a 1 second timer.
This is going to make auto rifles so much better.
And gut shot straight too.
Got shot straight. Well, for the body shots, but you're still trying to aim for the head. Well, I don't know. You are just firing randomly with a weapon that never runs out of ammo. So I don't know. You do you. But for the
rifles,
most
you're
of
just
us, I
firing.
think we're still trying to hit the head.
I mean, that's the goal, but I mean, there's a lot of extra body there too.
That's true.
You're just firing. You're not really. You don't really care what you're firing at. You're just firing and making the thing you're firing at no longer be there. As part of the Divinity rework this season, we looked at other related hiccups, including rewind rounds. They should now work as intended when hitting the cage created by the Divinity. So rewind rounds were broken by the Divinity thing.
And for those that don't know, rewind rounds are refill your magazine upon emptying the magazine based on how many shots you've landed. So there are a couple of notable weapons that have this, like, I don't know, Vault of Glass machine gun that you can unload on an enemy. And when your magazine's dry, instead of you having a 5-minute reload animation, it'll just give you a bunch of rounds based on how many rounds you've landed during this magazine. So it's an incredibly powerful perk if you've never used it.
So those come from the VOG weapons, Vault of Glass?
Yeah.
Okay. That explains why I don't have any of them. Oh, and apparently it also comes on the No Time to Explain, so I lied. I do have a weapon with it. So yeah, your No Time to Explain will also benefit if you're using that with Divinity somewhere. Your Genesis has always refilled the weapon ammo on breaking shields on PvE, but not in PvP. So they've now determined this is a safe call to remove this restriction. So now your Genesis perk will work in PvP. That's it.
Do you
That's
know
all it
why
does now.
this is
It'll
one of
work.
the worst decisions they can make?
I don't know, but I bet you're going to tell me.
Yeah.
So, what's a weapon archetype that can drop with Genesis?
Shotgun?
And
Sure, yeah. More
grenade
shotguns.
launchers?
Grenade launchers, yeah.
Specifically, breach load grenade launchers?
Double
Right.
ruined sidearm.
Well, it's important because the breach load grenade launchers that have this perk, basically, you shoot a guardian, and if by some chance you haven't killed him, you now have a second round in the chamber automatically. So that's a boom boom kind of, the guardians. It's gonna make this. If you were already having a problem with grenade launchers in PvP, this just made your day so much worse.
I think my problem with the grenade launchers is limited by the ammo economy. So whether you can kill one person or two people really quick, I'm not really worried about it. I'd be more curious what else it can roll on.
Ammo economy, almost everybody in PvP runs with a special weapon. So if I kill you, I pick up a special brick, and if I have a scavenger, I get 2 rounds back, 2 or 3 rounds back, right? So ammo economy really doesn't affect this much, Now if you miss, you whiff it, yeah, then it's gonna affect you, right? But no, this made grenade launchers far more deadly in PvP than it did before. Because instead of having to swap weapons and clean up the kill, they don't even need to swap weapons. They can just fire the grenade launcher a second time and clean it up. So yeah, it's another reason for me to stay the hell out of PvP.
Oh right, yeah, I was thinking heavy weapons, not special breach loaders. Okay, I just looked. I have it on nothing at all, so clearly I'm not going to benefit from this. One quiet moment. That's something anyone could benefit from if it did something useful. It wasn't really doing its job, providing fast reloads out of combat where players had dealt with all nearby threats. So now it has a it has a faster reactivation after a final blow. So maybe you don't have to run into a corner, sit there, build a fire, make some hot chocolate, then it'll reload for you. Maybe it'll be quicker now. And Gun and Run was hard to trigger in PvP or encounters with few enemies, so we decided that half the number of final blows was needed to activate it when going up against most enemy types. So your Gun and Run from Gambit, which nobody has but me, will be more beneficial to you other places.
Don't say that. I have some gun and run stuff from Gambit because,
Only
ladies
you
and
ran it
gentlemen,
last week to get your weekly challenges done.
I did play
You telling me you didn't play
Stupid.
enough PvP to get it when it was up there,
Stupid.
Peroty?
One, Gambit.pvp, and two, I have piles of Gun and Run things.
Oh.
Piles of things with the origin trait on it.
I did this week play enough Gambit to reset my rank, and then unfortunately, poor old Mr. Blue Screen decided he wanted to join me, and us three here know how much he absolutely detests Gambit.
Mhm.
He said he would come and join me. I think by the end of it, he wanted to claw his own eyes out and kill himself.
Truly,
Because I
truly
was
taking
going
one
for
for the
my
team.
second reset, and he was like, "Surely you've got there now." And I'm like, "Ah, I think I'm like one game away." And he's like, "No, I can't do this anymore." So he left me. I did the one game, and I got to my grenade launcher ornament. So I'm not sure if I'm happy about that or not. But I did do another challenge, and I think I've only got one left to do before the end of the week. But I played some Gambit.
Maybe not happy,
Another
but it
thing,
was done.
that Genesis runs on that's already been a problem in PvP is the Arbalest. So you shoot a Guardian, you pop a shield and kill him, refills your magazine. Yay.
Good times. And now on the Respawn's favorite section, nerfs, of which there are only
Love
3.
the fact that they've actually come out and said nerfs this time. Normally
Yeah.
they say it's a rework or something, but no,
Yeah,
it's
they're
a
just
nerf.
like, here's our buffs, here's our nerfs. Box breathing. It's been too strong with the. I'm sorry, it's been providing too strong of a benefit for too little investment on scout rifles, so they pulled it back just a smidge to avoid crossing time to kill thresholds, just a little bit. So your damage bonus on scout rifles reduced by 5%. Just a little pullback on scout rifles, because everyone knows scout rifles is really just where everybody is right now. Is absolutely running over everything.
Aside from the one scout rifle that we already mentioned, what other scout rifle gets that? Genuine question. Because I mean, you don't have to look up or anything like that, but just think about it. Aside from the one that we mentioned, does any other scout rifle get that? Did they really just nerf that one weapon into oblivion just before bringing it back next season?
I haven't got anything in my inventory that has it, so yeah.
Yeah, ditto. So
It's
yeah,
a
maybe
perk that I went, no, it's fine.
or the new weapon for the next season is a scout rifle. And it's going to roll with box breathing on it.
Yeah.
Hence the change. Who knows? Because some of these
Yeah,
changes
maybe.
could be defensive for it's not here now, but we're releasing a thing and we're going. That could be a problem.
Could be. All right, yeah, fair enough. I'll give it that.
Randy's new throwing knife. Now, the unstoppable forces damage was a little too high for the level of investment, surpassing other damage perks for strength and uptime. So we're keeping the uptime, but adjusting the strength. So they're reducing your damage bonus from 30% to 20% on unstoppable force. So you're now a little bit more stoppable. And for all you shotgun bros out there, your 1-2 punch is part of several combos that will allow stacking melee damage buffs to get far higher than intended. Here's what the 1-2 punch will look like on Tuesday. So they reduce the bonus damage melee as follows. From 3 times to 2 times versus most enemies with unpowered melees. From 1.8 times to 1.4 times versus most enemies with charged melees. And reduce the additional bonus versus bosses from 0.5 to 0.25. So get your spreadsheets out, figure out how that affects your gameplay and your TTKs and your DPS works. I leave that to you. And we have one bug fix. Just the one. Everything else is perfect.
By the way.
One bug fix. To access your opulent weapon origin trait, triggering the perk across multiple weapons no longer displays a stack counter on the UI. The perk never stacks its effects. So the change doesn't actually do anything. It just takes away a UI thing that didn't matter anyway. That's all. All the other bugs are fixed. That's all we did.
Really?
Nitedemon, tell me about some enhanced perks. How can I enhance my perks and how good are they gonna be?
Is he given up reading? Is he want me to come back then? Is that he's like giggling?
No,
in the
he
back?
gave up. I'll continue on. You stay there.
Or Respawn, tell me about enhanced perks. Enhanced perks.
So,
I can't read it all, so.
We've taken a pass over several enhanced perks to bring their functionality more in line with the base perks. Enhanced Unrelenting shifted +5 health regen, removed +5 handling. Enhanced Perpetual Motion removed a 0.1 second faster activation and removed a 0.1 second grace period upon ending. Added 1 second faster activation of 2 times stacks.
Can
So
I
there
just
you go.
quickly ask you a question? So
Yeah.
these enhanced perks, these are from the Enclave and your crafting. Is that
Crafting,
correct?
yes. Yes.
Okay. Because they
Crafting,
don't say
yes.
that, but I just wanted to clarify that because I'm new here and I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, they're from when you craft weapons, the little yellow ones that are expensive to put on there. Yeah, that's these. Enhanced timed payload shifted from range to +5 stability. So now you have unlimited range and +5 stability. Congratulations. Enhanced explosive payload shifted from range to +5 reload. So now you have unlimited range and +5 reload. Enhanced firing line added additional 10 handling when in proximity and removed the increased neutral range. So you get enhanced damage and enhanced handling now with the enhanced firing line. Cool.
But less range.
Enhanced grave robber swapped from +5 reload to +5 handling. Grave robber, isn't that just an instant reload? How does that make sense?
Grave robbers when you punch somebody, isn't it?
Yeah, you punch somebody and it refills your mag, right?
Well, that's what I
So
thought it did.
I don't understand. Do you have like I don't know. Whatever you you
Grave
get
robber,
+5 handling with grave robber. Yay.
The enhanced it says on
yeah,
melee
melee-
kill, weapon gets refreshed and enhanced passively grants 5 reload and speed.
Oh,
Melee,
passively. Okay, I see.
yeah.
So that's a
Melee
passive.
final blows, reload this weapons
Okay.
magazine from reserves. Okay, yeah.
Enhanced explosive light. So for those of you that don't know, explosive light is you pick up an orb and that orb empowers your weapon. So now added one more charge, stacks cap at 7 now instead of 6. Very cool. Enhanced cornered added +10 stability when active. I'm pretty sure that's for bows and fusion rifles only. So cool. And enhanced cornered is basically you're surrounded by enemies already. So, and it comes on a bow as well as a fusion. So if you have a bow and enemies are surrounding you, the last thing I'm thinking about is stability. What about enhanced damage, man? Come on. Enhanced cold steel. Weapon energy and weapon magazine capacity now add +10 to be consistent with other ammo capacity increasing perks. I don't know what that is, but apparently there you go. Enhanced cold steel. Enhanced Vorpal Weapon. This is fun. Change from +5 reload to +5 stability. This will apply to the guard resistance stat on swords. There you go. So the Vorpal Weapon intrinsically gives you extra boss damage and extra major? It's boss and something else. I think it's boss and
damage
major. Don't
against
quote me.
PvP, damage against guardians and their super.
And that too. Yes, that too. So there you go. So it gives you extra damage and also a +5 to stability. Cool. Enhanced Genesis. Removed primary ammo overflow and added additional handling. Okay, so you no longer get the extra bullets, but now you can move your gun just a little better. Enhanced Flash Counter. That's increased ammo capacity. For somebody that knows what Flash Counter does, that's cool. Enhanced Chain Reaction. Chain Reaction is a fun one. Updated the description as this provides a different benefit to swords. Huh?
That's the
Okay.
same thing, but the description will now tell you something different.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Mhm.
But for those of you that don't know, if you kill something with chain reaction, whether a grenade launcher or a sword, that guy explodes. And if that guy kills another guy, that guy explodes. And if that guy kills another guy, that guy explodes. Hence the chain reaction.
And
So
he kills 2 friends, and he kills 2 friends. He kills
that's
2
right.
friends.
It's like a Ponzi scheme in reverse. So,
Mhm.
enhanced ambitious assassin. Increase the allowed time between final blows from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. That is massive. That's good. Exotics reworks. See that now they use the name reworks.
Well, yeah,
We
because
don't
these were
want to
all
scare
reworked. Like
people
they
off.
were
Yeah.
teasing us forever.
Yeah,
They've been
reworks.
teasing
We'll
us
see.
about these. Yeah, there's 27 of them getting reworked. Many of them you've probably never heard of because nobody uses them.
And this is Hunter Nerf number 3.
Oh my
We've
God.
identified a handful of weapons that we felt needed substantial change to really hit the level of exoticness that we expect from D2 exotics. The fundamentals perk, which can be seen on the damage type switching exotics, aka Borealis, Hardlight, and Dead Messenger, while functional, felt like it could do more to grant the mode some identity based on the selected damage type.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
say, huh?
Yep. 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 Yep.
We agree. Mhm.
So each damage type now grants different weapon stats. Basically, they've added elemental capacitor to these weapons intrinsically. So if you have an arc, if you have your arc selected, you get plus 25 handling and plus 5 range. If you have solar bullets, you have plus 35 reload speed and plus 20 airborne effectiveness. And if you have void bullets, you have plus 20 stability and plus 10 aim assist. So for the auto rifle and the sniper rifle, obviously void is the way to go. For the grenade launcher, if you're using anything but arc, you hate yourself and you owe somebody a lot of money.
So I just want to ask a quick question.
Yeah.
Hardlight
Yeah.
stability at the moment is 100.
Yep.
Why am I going with void on that one? Just to
Uh,
get the extra 10 aim assist.
sure, why not?
I'm not going to get 120 stability, am
No,
I?
you can't. Well, no, I mean you are going to get 120, but it won't
No,
do
you're
anything.
not. No, yeah, it won't do it.
But
You'll-
extra 10 aim
listen.
assist, that's definitely important, especially when you start ricocheting those rounds. Oh boy.
I would go with arc because the handling at the moment is 77, and that would knock that right up to 90 odd. And getting an extra 5 in the range, going from 40 to 45, is
Mm,
pretty decent
I
for a
can
600
see
RPM.
your argument, but for those of us that have learned how to ricochet off the ground, I'm definitely going to go for the aim assist.
No.
And
Yeah, because for those of
120
you that don't know, that gun that he's talking about, if you ricochet your bullets do extra damage and
Yeah,
have
that's-
a little bit of extra tracking. So if I can add plus 10 aim assist to those ricocheted rounds, I would be doing extra damage and have even more tracking.
so ricochet rounds work.
But if you actually want to shoot people directly with the bullets, like, I don't know, a pleb, like Nitedemon, then yeah, arc might be the better way to go. But, you know, whatever.
pleb. I'm here.
Even with the above change to the fundamentals, we felt like Borealis needed even more to make it better. So now, breaking a matched shield refills the magazine from reserves and allows your next 5 shots. I don't see a timer here. I just see 5 shots to deal bonus damage, not deactivated by reloading. A lot of these perks have a number of shots or a time associated. Like once you punch, for example, 3 seconds or what, 5 shots? Something like that, right? So it's time and shots. This one, you just get 5 empowered shots. That's kind of a big deal. This might actually make it strong enough, especially if next season we have armor-piercing sniper rifles. Just saying. This is going to be an in-game weapon, I feel. But we'll see.
Could be depending what the in-game thing is.
Sure is. Jade Rabbit is a strong scout rifle. But its exotic perk was lackluster, so we've redesigned it to be more of a gameplay loop. Quickly landing 3 crits returns a round to the magazine and the damage of your next body shot. And increases the damage of your next body shot, right?
So they've reversed what it does now.
It sounds like it.
Hmm.
Now, I've only used the Jade Rabbit a couple times, and when I did, it was in Momentum, right? So in PvP, don't you just need 2 crits to kill with the Jade Rabbit?
Well, no, like you were. I think we touched on this earlier with the Fateful Force perk, chaining body shots to gain bonus damage on your next precision shot and returns ammo to the magazine. So they've reversed it. So it's quickly landing crits will return rounds to the magazine
Yeah,
and then
that's not
increase
what I'm
your
asking.
damage of
What
your
I'm
next
asking
body
is
shot.
base crit damage on the Jade Rabbit. Isn't 2 shots enough to kill a Guardian? 2 headshots?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay,
Sorry.
so the reason I'm asking, if it only takes 2 headshots to kill a Guardian, which I think it does, then
Well,
you
yes,
won't ever
because you
get the third headshot to give
no,
you.
because at the moment you have to charge it up to do that. You have to do body shot, body shot, body shot to get or body shot to charge it up to get a damage crit on your next precision shot. At the moment, anyway. So they're doing it the opposite way round. So if you get 3 headshots, your
Crits.
next body shot will kill them. So it'd be a 4-shot kill.
Yeah, but
Whereas
I'm not even sure a Guardian can survive 3 crits with a Jade Rabbit. That's what I'm saying. If you're PvP with this gun, which is, let's be honest, you're not using it anywhere else, right?
it could be.
Then you'll never get the body shot extra damage because you're killing Guardians in 2 crits, possibly 3, but I don't know. I guess we'll see when it comes out. It doesn't sound good to me. Either way, you get 3 stacks for your body shots. But if you reload the weapon, the body shot stacks go away. So there's that.
Stop eating the mic.
I'm
You're rubbing the mic like you're loving it too much.
what I don't understand. The mic's not moved. What are you talking about?
It's either you or Peroty. It's definitely not me.
Well,
It's not me
it's not
'cause I
parody
don't
because
touch
I'm
my
not
mic.
hearing it. It's not parody. So what are you hearing exactly?
Like
You
you're
moving the
rubbing
mic
the mic.
around.
Yeah, like you're moving it around.
Yeah, well, if you guys look, I'm gonna get another mic stand as soon as I can get to a store. Right now, this is Respawn basically standing on stage with a mic like a comedian, okay, or stand up, whatever.
Say something funny then.
Okay,
make us
Nitedemon
laugh.
is a dwarf in disguise, and he's really works for the Keebler Elf Factory. That's why he's got so many kids.
No idea what that means, but somewhere might find
You don't
it
know
funny.
Keebler Elves?
Do I live in your country? No.
It's
Do
a
you
cookie brand. I would think
do-
that was global.
Do you not have little sandwich elves that make cookies in your country?
No, we don't.
Oh, you're missing
there you
out.
go.
They make some of the best cookies. It's their tiny
really
fingers
do, though.
really help.
They really do.
Anyway,
All right, one of you read a little bit of this because I gotta get charged up for the Hunter Exotic. Ready?
All right,
Go.
more nerfs. We got this. We got nerfs. So basically, there's some lovely charts here. Unless 19, unless you'd like to read.
no, I'm absolutely fine if you want to tell people about the charts because
charts, graphs, things. So basically, there's a lovely chart of the dominant raid exotics usage, which is basically Acre Scepter, Lumina, Tractor Cannon, Vex, Quicksilver Storm, Sleeper Simulant, Risk Runner. No one uses. Basically, the top 3 that I was Bungie would call out of band. So basically, every single weapon is at about 5% usage. Izanagi's Burden, a little above that. Trinity Ghoul sits right about there. Galahorn sits right about there. The only things above that 5% sort of threshold, which I'm only using as a threshold because that's sort of where everything is sitting, is your Wither Horde, which is at like 13% usage. Your Divinity, a little higher, maybe 14%. And then your Arbalest, way up at like 26% usage in raids. So Wither Horde, Divinity, Arbalest, if there was a band, I would say those 3 are out of band. There's way more usage than you'd expect. And then they have another chart so this first chart was as of November 15th. And they have another one for special weapons usage. So sorry, that was all of our raid exotics that were all, those weren't all heavies. Yeah. Raid exotics prior to November 15th. And then your PvP exotic special weapons for November 15th. Sort of same thing. A lot of things are sort of in about that 5% range. Dead Messenger, Chaperone, Telesto, just above 5%, 5 or 6%. Telesto, I'm going to totally credit with its event because I don't think that many people were running it before then. Jotun in PvP, sitting just below 15%. Forerunner, unsurprisingly, right about 19% usage. And to Respawn's point, Wither Horde, up at about like 27% usage in PvP. So again, in PvP, if you were going to look at a band and say what's out of band, Jotun, Forerunner, Wither Horde. So kids,
the question is with that.
Mm-hmm.
The question is with that: is it because they've then messed around with other weapons? Because Lorentz Driver is way back down there, and Arbalest is way back down there, and is that because they've tuned those now so that people are then looking at
That's
what
exactly
can I get a one-hit kill with a horde? I'll put that on the ground, splash people, get people. It's always been there, and I think that they've made this chart by themselves basically because of what they've done.
Well, for PvP, yeah, I'm sure without a doubt there is some part of that. But think about ease of use. Like for the average player, are you bringing Arbalest or Lawrence Driver into PvP? Yeah, maybe it's super good, maybe it's super aim assisty. Is that what you're reaching for? Is that what you're going to bring and go, oh, this is supposed to be really good. Let me go run this all the time and use it all the time and main it? Or are you more likely to main something like the Wither Horde or the Jotun? Super easy to use, super easy to pick up, doesn't involve a lot of, skill to use.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Well, the
it's...
Forerunner kind of does, but yeah, Jotun and Witherhorde, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, I mean, Jotun or Wither Horde, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you pick them up, you point, you click, things die.
I think
Forerunner,
that's
yeah,
what
it
I'm worried
takes
about.
some amount of
The
skill,
Jotun
but it's
is going
still
to be the
basically a
next
sidearm.
one. Jotun is going to
Right.
be the next one because look at that usage, 15%. That's going to shoot right up.
Sorry, Micah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, not sorry, because it's good for him. Because even more people. Ooh, no, because right now he uses it to a point that makes me sick. So now other people are going to use it to a point that makes him sick, and then it's going to get nerfed, and nobody's going to use it, and nobody's going to be sick.
Well, it'll get nerfed, and we'll see what happens. So basically, Bungie goes on to say, Wither Horde, very strong PvE and PvP, dealing high damage quickly for an extended period of time. And they're not making any changes to direct hits, and they're relieving the damage and ammo capacity alone. But since the weapon in its current iteration is way too strong in PvE, not to mention the Taken Portal is difficult to deal with in PvP, they're making the following change of basically taking, which I don't think I ever knew that the Taken Portal is what they call the big blob on the ground, but they've reduced the Taken Portal duration from 7.5 to 4.5 seconds. So
That's
basically
good.
that will stick around for 3 less seconds.
The only place that's ever teleported me is to Resurrection. What the hell?
Right.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. Then.
So we learn something new every day. I've used that weapon thousands of times. Never knew it was called the Taken Portal. But yeah, so basically your big blob on the ground will now stick around for 3 less seconds. So what this tells me is just get a friend, and then the two of you can maintain that long, lovely Taken Portal all day, every day.
And I love how they tell us about the secret relationship between this and the Wish Ender right when they nerfed this, right? So it's like, oh yeah, we've nerfed it from 7.5 seconds to 4.5 seconds, almost cutting the time in half. But there is an interaction that the Wish Ender does extra damage to people affected by the Wither Horde. Well, but
I'm sorry, but if you're affected by the Wither Horde, you're going to be dead anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you're.
We're talking about like PvE effectiveness, right? So if somebody could pop a champion with that, right, and the other two people hit him with Wish Enders, you got 7 seconds worth of Wish Ender firing. So that's one person can get out 5, maybe 6 shots in that time. You double that if you have 2 people, right? Now you get 4.5 seconds. So this nerfed the hell out of it in PvE too, especially if you knew about that interaction, which I'm betting most of us didn't, because I sure didn't.
Question for the pod: Where are you seeing the Wish Ender information? Where are you getting this from?
Earlier they were talking about the interaction. Earlier, the Wish Ender does more damage if you're affected by Wither Horde. They buffed it from 10% up to 25%. Remember? Way in the beginning of the TWAB.
It was that long ago we completely forgotten about it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Did we say that? Because I'm not sure we said that.
We did.
I feel like I would have missed it. Okay.
We did.
Well, then apparently my brain just completely missed it. Then okay, good talk. You can tell I am.
Respawn retained something. Fanfare.
Yay.
First time for everything. Aww.
Right.
So another topic that everyone loves to scream about: Divinity, the must-have weapon in in-game PvE. Combination of the strongest possible weaken effect, the cage making critical hits trivial, the intrinsic overload being too strong. As is evident by looking at how this weapon is used in things like raids, it was time for a change. They looked at several options. We're not going to recap all those. They've talked us to death about what they did to the Wither Horde. Gosh, what they did to the Divinity. They took its weaken effect from 30% down to 15%, but you can still buff it back to the 30% by combining it with Tether or Tractor Cannon. So you can still maintain the pre-buff amount of weakening. You just need to bring a friend with you with a Tractor Cannon and or a Shadow Shot to go with it.
Yeah, but still, a constant 15% buff is nothing to scoff at. So let's be honest. It's not 30, but you still have a constant 15% and a huge crit bubble for snipers, for all kinds of weapons. So even after the nerf, it's still really good.
Yeah, which is I think we covered. When they announced this initially, hey, this is not going to be the end of the world. It still works just fine. Arbalist again has been talked about to death. They reduce the body shot damage to match the match Lawrence driver's body shot damage. Too easy to get one hit kills in PvP. Not quite requiring enough precision in PvE. So now Arbalist will do what Lawrence driver does for body shot damage. Gallahorn, which you'd think everyone would be screaming about, but only some people. It's your highest DPS rocket launcher and great weapon for legendary rocket launchers. So we picked up on those two roles and opted to lean into its support power. So they reduce the primary rocket's impact and detonation by 25%. Wolfpack rounds remain unaffected. And this brings it just into the desired band without nerfing it past other rocket launchers. So again, it's out of band. They brought it back in the band.
Launcher and make it just as strong as a legendary. Yay!
But it still gives I mean, it's now a support rocket launcher. It gives all the other rocket launchers the support of Wolfpack rounds. Exactly.
Yes, because that's what we need is support rocket launchers. Wow. Yep. You know what? You know one thing that nobody's ever asked for, Bungie? A support rocket launcher. You know what you've given us that nobody's ever asked for?
A support
rocket launcher.
Well, there you go.
But maybe I want to do chill clip with Wolfpack rounds. Maybe that's
you could do that anyway without them nerfing the Gallahorn.
Don't take it away from me.
Nobody's taking that away from you. What they're doing is they're taking away the Gallahorn's viability. Now, what they've done, if you want to use chill clip with Wolfpack rounds, you're less likely to get that now because now somebody's less likely to use the Gallahorn in favor of something else because the Gallahorn has been nerfed to oblivion damage-wise.
Sure, I'd call it oblivion. I'm not sure.
1/4 of its damage, dude. That's not a small debuff. No, if they said 5 or 10, okay, it's bad, but it's not that bad. 1/4 of its damage? That's a big deal, dude. But I mean, it's happening either way, but just it's too much. I think it's too much. Now, people that were using it as a primary and everybody else using the legendaries, I see that happening less now. And they're probably going to go back to linear fusion rifles or whatever's going to be stronger next season. I don't see this being a thing.
Okay. I don't know.
I am happy about the next one.
You mean the Forerunner receiving an unintended and relatively small buff in Season 18's balance update?
Yes.
Which made it a little too easy to use and thus way out of band? All it took for a final blow was 1 crit, 3 bodies, or 5 body shots in PvP. So in Season 19, they're going to reduce the base damage from 40 to 37 and the crit damage from 72 to 67. So just a little bit less damage, making Forerunner a little less Forerunnery.
Right. So up next, we have
buffs. More buffs.
Did I say that right? Yes. There we go. So apparently Bungie have tracked exotic weapon popularity when deciding what exotic weapons to buff by looking at how many active players own a weapon and how much they use it in game. Now, technically, I own all these weapons, but they just they sit in the vault. So,
but look at the ratios though. 85% of people own Merciless. 0.06% use it.
Why would you?
Yeah.
It was broken for forever, and it's just not. Oh, I can reload faster and shoot people.
It's getting a buff. But Bastion's a good one. I'm surprised it doesn't have higher usage because Bastion I take into solo dungeon activities all the time because it's got inherent champion perks on it. Yes. I thought that would have higher usage, honestly.
But the problem is that they've messed around with these weapons. I mean, they messed around with Merciless. They've messed around with Bastion. Not necessarily like Sturm or kind of
Cerberus.
They've messed around with Prometheus Lens. Lord of Wolves, they've messed around with Legend of Acrius. I know that they've put a few things up and down on that.
Right, I'm never using a heavy shotgun. Sorry,
yeah,
it's just never going to happen.
But just think of it. Shotgun primary, shotgun secondary, shotgun heavy, with shotgun ammo finder, shotgun scavenger.
Why? Why? I'm never going to use a heavy shotgun. It's never going to happen.
But
you can give it Wolfpack
really
rounds.
hard.
I'm never going to use it. I'm never going to use it.
So hard for that one shot. And then you have to wait 19 and a half minutes to reload that second shot.
Yeah. So, Bungie did their big rework, and yeah, nobody uses these things because why would you? I mean, Prospector is the same thing. So,
So-
these weapons are 80% ownership and less than 2% usage.
Well, the Prospector, if you recall, back during what was the raid about the helmet, the cursed helmet? What was that?
The raid about the cursed helmet.
Yeah, the cursed
Crown
helmet that is currently
of-
residing on the ship that we have now.
Bro.
Huh?
Crown of Sorrow.
Thank you, Crown of Sorrow. Prospector was the weapon to use during that season because grenade launchers
Never
overall were doing a
again.
lot of damage. You know?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I vaguely remember that one or the other one with the
Explosive light.
no the full court where the further that
Correct.
you were away
Yes.
from the target, it would do more damage. Yeah.
Right.
Back when the
So
Reckoning was a thing.
yeah, that but right up there with it was prospecting because you could just hold it down and like I said, full auto, right? So and what was cool about it is on contact with an enemy, they would detonate. But if you held the trigger down and they hit like a wall, for example, you could set a trap, which would detonate when you released the trigger, right? So it was a multi-function grenade launcher, and it was actually really, really good. And then they nerfed grenade launcher damage, and then
They did,
Prospector
yeah.
never saw the light of day again. Which makes sense because the name Prospector, light of day. Get it? No. Just get digging. No, I'm
But
sorry.
they are going to do something about that. They've chosen from the 20 or so least popular weapons for a potential buff, either directly or via a catalyst. So that's good. So
Mm.
some of them might be getting a catalyst. Yay! They've got more changes coming in Nightfall, and again, they'll share their thoughts later on. But with the addition of the full auto setting, they're replacing the full auto trigger system perk on each exotic that had it. And I believe we've already covered this, but no time to explain. They're replacing it with Feeding Frenzy. Traveler's
Very
Chosen,
nice.
the Catalyst perk replaced with Surplus. It
Very
still has
nice.
Osmosis. And the Vigilance Wing, Catalyst perk replaced with Ensemble.
Don't remember what that one does.
I think you get more damage if you're close to somebody.
Okay.
They've also fixed an issue where crits from Dead Man's Tau, which was the scout rifle that's also been nerfed into the ground, were landing inconsistently depending on whether your aim was above or below the target. We've also made some small changes to its base damage, which will apply to all 120 RPM scout rifles. Now prefers critical hits over body hits in hipfire if both types of targets are inside the precision aim cone. And they've increased the body shot damage from 46 to 54 and reduced the crit damage from 81 to 80. Darcy is also being looked at, and yeah,
It's not just being looked at; it's being changed.
yeah.
Just read the damn change.
But the thing is, sniper rifles, heavy sniper rifles, haven't been a thing for a while.
I'm crying because this change is so tough.
But I mean, they changed Whisper of the Worm. They want us to kind of be jumping in the air with Whisper of the Worm. I know,
And then, yeah, the same way. Hey,
it's
Whisper
like-
the Worm, heavy exotic. Yeah, let's jump in the air with it. Yeah, there's a...
The problem was that the heavy sniper rifles did a thing where it was amazing in raids and end game content because you could kind of sit at the back, you could pop a bubble in and out of the bubble, take your shots, reload, come back in. You know, Destiny 1 was a thing where we liked using the
not
heavy
even
sniper
reloading.
rifles.
Not even with
Yeah, but you know what I mean, yeah.
with the other one that you just mentioned, the
Whisper, yeah.
the Whisper of the Worm. As long as you got your crits, you never had to reload. That's why it had so much damage. And Darcy, if it wasn't for the reload that the Darcy has, it would actually be top dog damage wise because it has like way more rounds in the magazine. Plus, it has box breathing, right?
At one point, there was talk of Darcy being a top tier kind of sniper or being competitive with other sniper rifles because it had the it was like the box breathing and the
Yeah,
zooming
because the
in on
box
the target.
breathing on the
Yeah.
Darcy did not reset upon pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Once you had it, you had it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So, Darcy will now apply Jolt when damaging target affected by personal assistant. That's the box breathing kind of thing that we've got, personal target. And it increases the base airborne effectiveness to 80. So they want you to
Yo,
be
let's get
flying
it!
around with sniper rifles, heavy sniper rifles. Oh,
I can
maybe
only see this on Warlocks with all of their stuff that makes them more effective in the air. It's the only person that this is applying to is our Warlock fans. They're like, yeah, I could use the Darcy, get extra damage, and jolt people while flying. Woo!
so. This is the Wish Ender. Has always had that hidden bonus perk when damaging with a horde due to its identity as a taken hunter weapon. So it's increased the bonus versus with a horde blighted target from 10 to 25%. There you go. So it still does the thing with the wither horde. It's increased. There you go.
Yep.
Are you happy with that? It's increased.
But we have half the time to do it, and with the freaking with the Wish Ender having more than a second draw time, now you have what, 3 arrows maybe.
Oh, yeah, but maybe it evens itself out.
Yeah, maybe. Now that people know that that's a thing, they might be using it, but we'll see.
They don't want special ammo sniper rifles to be perfectly accurate from the air without significant investment, and they don't want to have the same concerns with their heavy ammo counterparts. That's where this Whisper of the Worm change comes in. They've increased the base airborne effectiveness to 80. So, yeah.
Just get rid of airborne effectiveness out of the game, period, full stop.
Yeah, our YouTube brethren are way on that train, but
Yeah.
which is
Remove the
why
It's
Why?
a disaster from the get-go.
So only those people that are showing off either jump or slide with sniper rifles to begin with, right? And now with airborne effectiveness, only the most brave of warlocks take snipers to the air. You know what I'm saying? So Bungie I mean, did you really give up? Is this one of those moments people describe where you just take a dart, you throw it at a board, and that's what you do?
Yeah. Let's just wait until next season, find out what it's all about. Okay. Because that's the only way that we're going to find out what they're going on about with this plus 80. So the Prospector has surprising high burst damage, but ultimately it doesn't excel enough in ad clear. With the below changes, it is a substantial more effective at ad clear, though we will continue to monitor it when it's live in game. And they've added chain reaction to the intrinsic perk. So that's the one where it just continuous arc explosions, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We'll go with that one. We'll see how that goes.
Well, Prospector also has full auto. I noticed that whenever they're saying we're going to be changing every exotic that has full auto, well, Prospector has that, and I didn't see them change
we've already
that.
talked about you've already talked about not on grenade launchers. Remember? So that's why it's a purple.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. Yeah, I mean, okay, sure, it's going to be really, really good ad clear. It will be, and then with the fact that you can leave traps on the ground, even better. But I just wish they would have increased the damage of the weapon a little bit, make it more viable against bosses. This is not a bad change. I'm not upset about this change. I just wish they could have done a little something.
So the Fourth Horseman is also getting a buff. It's decreasing its recoil by 50%, which is very nice.
Is huge.
Very nice.
That
Anybody that's ever fired this gun. So those of you out there that don't know what we're talking about, pee-pee pipe. The Fourth Horseman is a 4-barreled shotgun with full ammo or full auto, right?
It's full auto on steroids.
I'm getting there. It's full auto on steroids, and if you have the catalyst, you get a 5th round, I think, and faster reload, right?
Yep.
The thing about it is, if you're if you're face to face with an enemy, let's say you're face to face with an ogre, a large enemy, and you held down that trigger, by the time you fired that 5th shot, you're looking at the sky. I am not exaggerating.
But that's good.
Really not exaggerating.
If you're under the ogre, that works.
Yeah, if you're under the ogre, that works.
Yeah.
But it drags your reticule up so far, so fast. It's ridiculous.
This is a weapon of pure recoil. That's all this weapon is recoil.
But pure damage. It hits so hard with these 4 or 5 rounds. So with this 50% recoil nerf, And if you can really pull back on that joystick, this has the potential to be the best boss DPS weapon in the game. Full
Nice.
stop. I want to see how this works out next season. I really, really do.
And Forerunner is a fun weapon in PvE, but never a top pick. Oh, because it's always in PvP. That's why it doesn't want to go into PvE.
Yeah, it doesn't leave PvP. It doesn't
Yeah,
get out of the Crucible. Come
it
on.
stays there.
Yeah, I know. If you try to leave PvP with that, they take it away from you and put it in a box for somebody else.
Mhm.
So they're going to change it again. They're going to increase the crit damage by 30%, and the rock, which is the grenade. That is the name of the grenade, isn't it? The rock.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. They're going to increase that damage by 60% in PvE. And
Did you remember about the rock before they said this?
I did, but I've never used it.
I've never used, because I've only ever used this kind of PvP too, and I never get enough kills to activate the rock.
Yeah, that's why.
So I completely forgot it was the thing until they said this.
You know what they should do? They should put another weapon in the game where you activate a grenade, and it's called the John Cena. So the rock could go up against John Cena.
Isn't that the Rat King? Isn't the Rat King the John Cena?
No.
You can't see the Rat King either, so it's perfect.
Yeah,
No,
you
but
can't
it
see
needs a
me. Get
grenade.
it?
Oh, never mind. They've reduced the ammo cost to activate the rock from 6 to 4. So we might see more rocks going around. And they've
Will
increased
you
the...
like what the Forerunner is cooking?
Yeah.
Follow up, can you smell what the Forerunner is cooking?
And they've increased the damage to the outer edge of the rock's damage radius from 0% to 20%. So the rock's going to be hitting you a lot harder these days. So you definitely will be able to smell what the rock is cooking.
Doing
It's
the
you, by the
Forerunner
way.
Johnson.
Just so you know, it's you. It's cooking you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Merciless is extraordinarily strong when ramped up, but nobody uses it, so they don't know what happens when you ramp it up. But it's
Nobody
hard
know.
to keep it in that state. So Merciless's decreased charge time on hits now resets at 5 seconds. This time
That's
rate is
big.
refreshed.
That's very
So
big.
this time rate is refreshed when you land hits. There you go.
So Merciless is a fusion rifle.
Exotic.
It's
fusion.
got a 1,000 something recharge or charge time, right? Its perk is if you don't kill something with that shot, the next shot you take takes less time to charge. And then the next one takes less, and the next one takes less. And it's a stacking buff that your Merciless charges faster and faster and faster until you get a kill.
So
Or
it's
until
good
you
against
miss.
bosses. It was good against bosses or really tanky yellow bars, especially
Sure.
when we had the Leviathan raid.
Yes. But the problem is if you miss, or if you reload the magazine or whatever, you lose the buff, right? With them giving you a 5-second window to keep the buff, that is a huge, huge buff. You'll probably actually be seeing this a lot more in PvP. I don't know about PvP. It could be good in PvP, especially if the what you call it's getting that nerf to its range again. This could be a good PvP replacement, especially if they start to get it ramped up. If somebody starts to snowball with this, it's going to be hard to stop them.
I don't think you're going to choose this over another exotic.
No.
In PvP.
That's a good point.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I mean, if you're giving up your exotic slot for this, I don't think this is the one you're choosing.
You must really love this gun.
So we've got a few more to get through here. We have the Rat King. The Rat King is a lot of fun to use, but the allowed distance for allies feels a little too strict for it as it stands.
What does the Rat King do, Demon?
That makes you go invisible when you get a kill.
Ah. So what's this radius thing it's talking about? What does that do?
I don't know.
It gets a it's okay. Every Rat King that's within range of another person or another Rat King gets a stacking damage buff.
Ah, there you go.
If you have a 6-man team of 6 Rat Kings, they do a substantial amount of damage, believe it or not. So the radius is how close you have to be to your buddies to get the damage stack. That's what that is.
So they're reducing.
They're increasing the range.
Increasing? Oh my word.
Yeah. So now you can be further away from somebody and still get the stack.
That is terrible in PvP. Imagine that. 3 invisible hunters running around with Rat Kings shooting you, and now they don't even have to be close to each other.
Why is that
sounds
terrible?
That sounds like PvP today.
Yeah,
That
it
sounds
does.
awesome.
Vacuum parts.
You said the delete button.
Yeah. The Legend of Accurus shotgun has some movement penalties to make it feel weightier.
This is silly, so we're taking it off.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, because it made you feel like you were running around with a log in your hand, though they're just removing the movement penalty, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Or if anyone
But to be
remembers that was a
fair,
thing.
you are still walking around with a log in your hand.
No, but you don't know you are. So there you go.
Fire the weapon.
You're still walking around with an exotic shotgun.
Yes.
No, you're not.
Bastion Season 14 nerf was a little more than it needed, so we've halved it, and they're reducing the spread angle by 6%. So
Let's
that
go.
should make some people happy.
Makes me happy. Again, it's a good PvE gun. And it was a good PvP gun, but, good for
So
PvE.
This is the next weapon is the pre-order bonus weapon, isn't it? The Quicksilver
Oh,
Storm.
yeah.
Yep.
So the Quicksilver
Nightfall
Storm's
pre-order.
grenade intentionally shipped on the weaker side. So they want to see what the uptime of grenades was like in the wild rather than ship them too strong. But they believe it's safe to increase the damage and the radius a fair bit. So we've also fixed a bug with the rockets that they were intended to be arc, and this bug, unchanged, would interfere with the catalyst coming in Nightfall. So they've increased the PvP maximum grenade damage from 80 to 120 and increased the explosion radius from 3 meters to 4. And they switched rocket damage from arc to kinetic.
So the arc will be, or the rocket will be back to arc with the catalyst, but it's shipped broken, as we alluded to a couple weeks ago. Interesting. Okay. So we will get it back in Nightfall, just
The thing
Can't
that
have it right
bugs
now.
me is kinetic weapons get a plus 10% damage buff, right?
Right.
Does
sure.
does this rocket get the 10% damage buff since it's
Sure.
now kinetic
Yeah.
instead of
Yes. We'll go with that.
you're saying words? Okay.
Yes.
Sure,
I'm agreeing
absolutely.
with you.
I hate you.
Cold Hearts 3.0 rework wasn't generous enough with ionic traces. So those are the little arc things that run along the ground and touch you and make you feel warm and fuzzy. So they've
your
reduced
hair
the
stand up.
cooldown on the ionic trace generated from 3.5 to 2 seconds. Now maxes out stability and reload speed when at maximum damage. Picking up ionic traces now reduces the time it takes to get to maximum damage. That's
Sure.
going to be good for Cold
Dun,
Heart.
dun, dun.
Yep. Still a trace rifle.
Grand Overture. The
Ooh.
loop doesn't feel rewarding enough in its current form, so we've dramatically increased the reward. They've increased the missile damage by 50%. So this is the machine gun that when you get hits with the normal firing mode, you can then switch it up and it does the missile damage. Like
Yeah.
automatic.
Machine gun is a
firing.
strong word, though.
I've just given you a general overview of what it is and what it's
Well,
now
It says on
going
the
to do.
tin. It says machine gun on the box when you open it. It says
That's
I'm a
right.
machine
That's
gun.
right. But like I've used it a lot this season because believe it or not, this season was actually pretty good, with all the arc stuff. Now it shoots a ball of lightning instead of a round. Okay. The ball of lightning has some tracking to it, a little bit, but it fires really, really slowly, right? But for every one of these slow firing, semi-tracking lightning orbs that land, you get one missile in reserves that they're talking about. The problem, and the big problem I wish they would have changed, is you have 20 rounds in the magazine and you have a max number of 20 rockets to fire if you stack them, right? If you miss even a single bullet, you have to reload before you can get that 20th rocket. You see what I'm saying? And then you have to reload again to use said rockets because it's like the Borealis. You have to hold the reload button to activate the thing, right? So although the damage for the rockets increase is definitely good, I wish they would have also given you, 5 to 10 rounds extra in the magazine. That way you can miss 1 or 2 shots and still get the 20 rockets to fire. You know what I mean? So if you haven't used it, it's hard to explain how slow this weapon is, right? But the rockets are a big payoff once you get the 20 stacks. But getting the 20 stacks is a pain in the ass, especially if you only get 20 shots in your magazine to begin with. So give me 25 rounds. Give me 30 rounds. Give me a catalyst that gives me more rounds in the magazine.
It's got a catalyst.
Something. Huh?
It's got a
Not a
catalyst.
catalyst, but it doesn't do that.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. You know, put it on the catalyst, something. You know,
But
give
what
me
does
more
it?
rounds in the magazine.
So what are they going to do instead?
Instead, they're just going to make the rockets when you reload do 50% more damage, which is not a small buff. I'll give it that. That's pretty big. But getting those rockets is time consuming to begin with. So,
But the thing is, at Respawn, did you know that the PvE enemies have put in a little pink slip to say that they're having issues with the area of effect damage on Xenophage?
actually, I didn't even know that Xenophage was in the TWAB. I must have skipped over this entirely. So,
Xenophage
no.
only deals area of effect damage currently, and it causes issues with some enemies in PvE. So they're not changing the overall weapon much, but they are addressing that pesky PvE issue. Despite benefit from a solid ease of use, we felt that its damage could be a little bit higher. So we reduced it, and now we're going to make it better again. So now deals roughly half of its damage as impact damage and the rest as detonation. And the overall damage is increased by 5%.
The overall single target damage is increased, or the AoE damage is increased?
Overall damage.
The overall damage.
Hmm.
All of it. D. All of the
Come
above.
on, man.
Oh dear. And when adjusting
would say.
Divinity, they also looked at some bugs relating to it, including Cloud Strike, which was the exotic sniper rifle that did the lightning storm. Apparently that lightning storm will now correctly activate when hitting the Divinity's cage. So that's a good buff, I take it. Yeah.
Sure. If you're using Cloud Strike and PvE.
Yeah, you want the cloud strikes to come down to deal that extra damage. Absolutely. That's what you want.
Does anybody use it in PvE ever in the history of
Well,
the world?
people were using it in PvE in the Deepstone Crypt, but it wasn't doing the extra damage people thought it was
Until
going to
Divinity
do
didn't work.
because it wasn't proccing on the Divinity. Yeah.
Mm.
Now that it is proccing on Divinity, we could potentially see it more. You know,
So
we'll
you're
find out.
saying there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance.
And Respawn did hint at it earlier that there have been some exotic armor changes. So I think this is probably to do with the glaives. The Worm's God's Caress for the Titans is to reduce the maximum damage multiplier from 7.5 to 3.5, and the Winter's Gall for the Warlocks reduces the maximum damage multiplier from 7.5 to 3.5. So
Same change
less-
to both.
Yeah.
More than half. More than half the damage nerf. Wow.
Yeah, but that's in PvE attacks.
And those
For
are
me.
things that could be
That's what mattered
wildly
to me.
overpowered. Well, those are things that have been wildly overpowered in the past, so they're probably trying to avoid that in the future.
And just to upset Respawn, the Gulfraken Falcons, Hubber, that one, that
The
chest
Gulf
piece,
Raking, yes.
Gulfraken Hubber, the Falcons,
Falcon chest piece. Yeah.
Falcon chest piece.
Lewis's chess piece.
Yeah.
That's what we're calling it now.
Bungie would like to let you know, Respawn, that they have a change coming with 6.3.0.1, and they have a sneak preview of the change that they believe that will address the balance concerning PvP while maintaining a clear identity in the void space.
You don't go into
So
PvP, so
last night,
Before you get
Last
upset, before we get into last night, can I tell you what they're going to change?
I know what they're going to change.
Yeah,
I'm
but
telling
other
you,
people don't.
does everyone else? Everyone else
Yeah.
doesn't know. Just
I
because you watch.
want to explain the change because this is why I'm talking about last night. Somebody called confused.
Go on
about-
then. Go on
Okay.
then.
It says that this is going to have a rework, right? It says you're
Mhm.
going to gain volatile rounds when exiting invisibility.
That's good.
Mhm.
Instead
Some
of
Titans out there who shall remain nameless, Micah, called me last night furious about how hunters not only get extra damage when coming out of invisibility, but now also get volatile rounds. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're replacing it. He goes, where did you see that at? I'm like, I don't. But if they say in the first sentence, this is going to address PvP complaints, I don't think they're going to buff it. You know? So call this the negative Nancy in me, but I'm pretty sure they're removing the 30% extra damage in lieu of these volatile rounds.
yes,
So
it would be handy if they said that, but yes,
Yes.
I see
Well,
Micah's
that's not what-
concern that
Yeah,
they
but that's not what
at the
they're
moment
saying.
it does that, but yeah.
yeah, they're not saying that, but we're assuming that because they said it's addressing complaints, and the complaint being the 30% extra damage.
But what they're also saying is that address balance concerns in PvP. But then the next line, it says when executing a finisher while invisible, this exotic will now give nearby allies a reserve overshield and give the wearer a temporary bonus to weapon damage. Now that's something that isn't in PvP. That is something in PvE. So again,
Only.
I think they need to kind of, when they're speaking about this, they need to make sure that they are 100% clear with we're replacing what you originally get with the volatile rounds. Otherwise, people like Micah and myself, I would say that you're gaining volatile rounds and getting that extra bonus damage, even though I know that that's not what Bungie are kind of saying, because
Right.
even though they're not saying it. And then the next line, it should be like this is a PvE thing when executing a finisher.
But again, they don't know that, so this is why us hunters are upset, right? Because we don't know if this is a PvE and PvP change, right? So if in PvE I've now lost the 30% damage and I only get volatile rounds, that sucks. Because volatile rounds just make an enemy explode if you shoot them enough, right? And that's not going to balance out the 30% extra damage we would get otherwise, right? So this is a straight up nerf to the chess piece, with the exception that if we can get an assassination while invisible, then we get a damage buff, right?
No, it's under the buff section. I'd like to argue with you. It's under the buff section.
We'll see.
It's
I
gonna
am
be what it is when
upset
it
about
comes
this,
out.
but I'm reserving my
You're upset
anger
about
to
everything, so what
see
else
how
is
it
new?
actually comes out. But if this is in my opinion, this is a straight up nerf.
And
you
you'll
know.
never play PvP, so it doesn't really matter to you.
I do play PvE. I've been playing PvE. I've recorded playing PvE this week, sir.
No, only because Micah made you.
Still, it happened.
But I can tell you things that you can look forward to in the future, Respawn and Peroty, because you're still here as well. A heavy weapon damage rebalance, tinkering with bringing some less effective options up while bringing some damage outliers down. What's the Nightfall DPS meta? Mysterious. Oh, a large rebalance of the airborne effectiveness stat. So again, we're still messing about with the airborne effectiveness stat, making primary ammo weapons significantly more accurate whilst airborne without any investment in the stat. Think Icarus level accuracy before season 17. Specifics are still in development. Some more tweaks. Sorry?
What should we do with the parody?
Just remove it.
Yes.
And then what? And
Just
then remove it?
Yeah.
And then
That's
remove it.
This is one of those, like sunsetting. Maybe it was a good idea, but you're going to tweak it forever, and it's never going to be where you want it to be. So just remove it or rethink it entirely.
Not one person thinks this was a good idea except you, Bungie. Your fan base is against you. Even your Twitch streamers are against you. This was a bad idea.
This is from someone who doesn't jump and doesn't care about the airborne effectiveness of anything at all. Yeah. But it's just it's stupid.
Well, the problem is, even if you're walking downstairs in some of these maps, every time you walk off of a step, you incur airborne penalties.
Right.
If you didn't know that. Yeah.
We do.
It's not just when you jump, it's when you're not on the any time that you're not on the ground, whether it's falling off a step or walking downstairs or whatever, you incur airborne penalties. So yeah, it's much more than you think it is, guys.
The only thing I'll say about the airborne effectiveness is you've taken a game heralded for its gunplay and its gun feel, and then you've added, well, we already have RNG bullets. Since the beginning of time, all your bullets are RNG, random number. Maybe it hits, maybe it doesn't. That's been a thing since the beginning of Destiny. And now we're taking the good gun feel and removing that by adding a stat that just says, well, your guns will feel good and they'll hit unless you're off the ground, in which case they'll hit less well, which, despite your intention, is just going to feel like it's broken. It's just going to feel like it's not working like it should. And that, in a first-person shooter, is not a thing you want.
But they are going to tweak some new shotgun reticles. Again, we tweaked the reticles. We're going to tweak them again. But new shotgun reticles.
Ooh.
And a pass adding subclass 3.0 verbs to several exotic weapons. And there are currently 7. Who knew? 7.
I'm shocked.
I love
Shocked.
this first sentence, dude. It's the only funny thing they've ever said.
Have
A
at it.
void hunter walks into a bar, but you probably didn't see them.
Take it away, Mr. Hunter.
Okay. We all, at least at one point or another in our lives, wish for the power of invisibility. With great power comes great responsibility. The PvP community has spoken and they've said, y'all gotta do something about this invisibility against the Guardians. Here to chat about that exact topic is Sandbox designer Mike Humboldt.
Hi, Mike.
Mike says, hi, everybody. With update 6.3.0.1 scheduled to be released the week of December 13th, we're moving up to change the void invisibility to help reduce its power and high-level crucible activities. For full context, we feel it's necessary to provide some background information on how the radar in Destiny 2 works. The radar in Destiny 2 is divided into 3 range-defined sections. A close-range core, which covers a range of 0 to 6 meters that pings anytime an enemy, invisible or not, is within its range. The mid-range pie wedges, covering 6 to 24 meter range. And the gutter, or the outer ring, of the radar, which starts at 24 meters and has a maximum search range of 64 meters. After update 6.3.0.1, when a player is invisible, their maximum radar range will be reduced to the 24 meter slice, and they won't have access to the information in the gutter range until they are visible again. While 24 meters sounds like a long range on paper, our playtests show that the reduction in information availability has significant impact on how invisible players approach engagements and allows potential targets more chances to get the drop on an invisible aggressor. It also offers a way to reposition when they hear the audio cue for invisibility. We found this change has a minimal impact on invisibility's role in PvE. As always, we'll be keeping an eye out on this as it drops and monitoring feedback to adjust it further if needed. Basically, Bungie's saying, we hate hunters, we're nerfing your invisibility again, we're nerfing your Grifalcon again, and we're nerfing your 1-2 punch. And for those of you out there that say, well, Titans punch too, Titans don't punch in endgame, Titans throw grenades. And Warlocks punch, when they punch, they definitely don't use 1-2 punch. So this is a specific hunter nerf. You can't change my mind. And so this is 3 ways Bungie has showed us that they hate their own creation. You might as well change your name to Frankenstein because it's what you keep doing to hunters. Stop nerfing us.
Oh, are you not here for a good time though?
Not if it's like this. This isn't a good time.
No.
However,
I'm here for a good time, and maybe even a long time.
Yeah.
there you go.
Maybe.
Guess what's happening for next season's artifact? Whilst we take on ferocious enemies and bake treats with Space Grandma.
Yay!
Yay!
Sandbox design Rodney Thompson's going to tell us we've got mods. We're going to have anti-champion mods. Bet you never saw that coming. Hand cannons, scout rifles, bows, pulse rifles, auto rifles, and submachine guns, as well as the return of your unstoppable grenade launcher. Which thing is going to do which thing? You're going to have to find out on Tuesday because we're not going to tell you.
Oh,
I
no,
love
no,
how
no,
they
no.
bring up the unstoppable grenade launcher right when they nerf Gallahorn. God.
There's a new one, Lucent Finisher mod that
Gallagher
returns
grenade launcher.
to help you generate some heavy ammo. So if you're doing a Lucent
Mhm,
Finisher, you get some ammo. But they're also going to give some love to stasis because who knew that was coming? We've done all the 3.0s of everything else. We might as well give some love to stasis while we're here.
Just replace the Titan Super entirely. Just give me a new one. That's it. That's my only request. The end.
Also, they've given a new twist on an old favorite, including a version of Passive Guard that works with glaives and a reprisal of Breach and Clear designed to interact with the Void 3.0 rework. And if you've forgotten all of what they did, like us, then we'll wait until Tuesday to kind of find out more.
Yeah. You should be on the lookout for artifact mods for chest and legs that grant bonuses to resilience and mobility, respectively.
Nice.
Also, a helmet mod that's to give you airborne effectiveness to the weapon you're wielding. which people will still be unhappy about, and a monochromatic Maestro mod in the class item slot that will reward you generously for using weapons and subclasses that match their damage type. Even a mod aimed at solo players, which should be very useful in your legendary lost sectors with just the right role on that exotic you're looking for. Or if you're trying to do the Shattered Throne exotic, or Shattered Throne dungeon, like Nitedemon will be.
Maybe I'll have to wait until I unlock all of that then.
Maybe.
There you go. They give me another reason why I've got to kind of wait.
Yep.
So way
And-
back when in August, that was a very long time ago now. I feel that it was only yesterday, August. I'm sitting here, it's December, and I'm feeling that it should just be September because it's just gone so quick. But back in August, they opened the gates for Guardians to vote on which exotic weapon gets a shiny new ornament. Now, we all kind of went with the one that didn't have that many ornaments, but I say we all, the majority of the community went with the Arbalest because, it's
Everyone's
Because
wrong.
it was going to get nerfed.
Yeah. So we have 3 designs, and they look really cool. They are in the TWAB. You'll have to go and look at them in the TWAB. One is historic, looks very cool. The Black Armory looks like the Black Armory weapon. So if you've been around since we had the Black Armory, so it's the red and black effect on there. Really nice. And then we have the Synthwave, which looks like the splicer weapons that we had.
Yep.
Or the
Pink and-
synth shader that you've got unlocked. Yes.
There you
that.
go.
80s
Looks-
neon cyberpunk. Yep.
Yeah.
Telling
Which
you
one?
that-
Which
that's-
one are you guys feeling? Are you feeling more Black Armory or Synthwave?
I was feeling Black Armory until I saw the synthwave.
Synthwave, but honestly, I don't think I've ever used the Arbalest, so D, none of the above.
Okay.
They're all
Really?
beautiful. Yeah.
For like champion activities.
No, I don't
Did you
think I've ever
bury it?
touched it. I don't really
No?
care. I've got auto rifles for that. Why would I ever use anything else?
Because auto rifles are usually for one type, whereas Arbalest is strong against all shields without needing a mod. But okay, whatever. You do you.
So when you hear this podcast, there will be a special email coming out on December 5th. So this is normally around the same time that this podcast comes out, alongside a highlight of your season 18 moments. So check those spam folders because some of the emails are having issues trying to get through. And there is a resource in the TWAB. If you click there, it will take you to kind of a workaround. So there you go. You can vote, and it'll probably be like we've had previously. Click on the picture that you like. Don't click on the picture thinking you're going to scroll down. Click on the picture that you like of the weapon ornament, and then that will go straight through to Bungie, and they go, "Thank you for voting," and they will announce the winning ornament on December 15th, TWAB, before they head into 2023. Oh my word, 2023!
For the love of God, if you don't like the color, don't click the picture. Don't click it. You're thinking it's going to expand. You get a better look at it. No, you click it. You voted for it. That's it.
I'm going to click on historic just to make people angry. No.
And again, they want
No.
to set the expectations up front that you won't likely see this design in Destiny 2 until season 21. So we are currently going to season 19. Season 20 will be Nightfall in February, still penciled in for February. So we're looking at maybe April, May, June, July. There you go.
Because you still have to build it. Once you have a pretty picture, got to model it, got to test it, got to slap it in the game.
Got to
And
play test it.
And for a little extra treat, they said how one of the artists themselves, as we alluded to earlier, Stellar State Logic, is the creator of these lovely designs and also the community focus for this week. So if you're interested, check out Bungie.net for more with that artist and the lovely Arbalest artwork.
And if you, like us, were wondering, I could do with another version of the Sturm, which is an exotic hand cannon that pairs very nicely with the Drang, or the Drang Baroque. If you sign up for Prime Gaming Rewards this month, you can get a Sturm hand cannon and an ornament, the Symbiosis exotic weapon ornament for it. You can also get the Ram exotic Sparrow and the Nothing Gold legendary ship. There you go.
And for those of you that don't know,
try out
the
Sturm.
Drang is really powerful right now. That even next season is still going to be really good. Pairs with this Strum hand cannon.
Strum.
Every kill
Sturm.
you get,
Sturm,
you get with
Drang. Sturm and Drang.
Sturm, not Strum. There's no guitar involved.
Sturm, sorry.
You may be strumming them, but it definitely Sturm. and
Either way,
Drang.
Strumming them, I don't think you're using them right.
that sidearm buffs the hand cannon by A, reloading its magazine, and B, giving it extra damaging shots after its magazine is full.
Has the perk Storm and Stress, which is kills with Drang, reload this weapon, so it reloads the Sturm, and it overflows with a bonus damage round into the magazine, into your Sturm exotic hand cannon. And then if you're using your Drang, it does the reverse, and it does the I can't remember what it's the Together Forever perk. This weapon has a well-rounded adaptive grip, reliable and stable. Kills with this weapon reload Sturm and overflow the bonus round. And then when you get a kill with Sturm, it reloads your Drang, so you never have to reload if you're using the pair, basically. So,
And the beauty of this is Sturm is still a sidearm, not a hand cannon. So you can put your sidearm perks on, and it will work on both your Sturm and your Drang, as they are both sidearms, not hand cannons.
What?
No,
It is absolutely a hand cannon.
Sturm is a hand cannon.
Then why does it say Sturm exotic sidearm?
That's a great question. Why does it say that? What?
Bungie. Bungie.
Oh,
I want a Sturm exotic sidearm.
same.
Definitely a hand cannon.
But for you PvP players out there, the unique thing about the Sturm hand cannon is these overflow shots will allow you to 2-tap Guardians in PvP. So there you go.
Maybe they're bringing it back as a sidearm. It's a sidearm now. It's a sidearm forever in my heart.
It is now.
Sidearm.
Bungie say so. It is.
Well, TWAB says it's a sidearm, so it's a sidearm. I don't care what you say.
So, Peroty, if I were a Stadia player, is there something that's in this TWAB that tells me I have to go and do something?
You mean the banner at the top?
Not just in the TWAB, but at the top of the banner on every single page before January 18th, 2023, you need to enable cross save, or when Stadia goes, so does all of your Destiny things, and then you'll be sad. We don't want you to be sad. So go enable cross save if you've created your account on Stadia and that's where you first played this game. If you first played it somewhere else and also play on Stadia, you can ignore it and move on with your life because everything is going to be fine. Nothing to worry about. What we're also going to get is a player support report because, we've helped the Elix team rebuild a quarter, provide a solid start to a new home. And what's next? Hopefully bug fixes. Bug fixes is hopefully next. So we have update 6.3.0, which is going to come to us on December 6th, which is Tuesday. So it's 8 a.m. Pacific time. Maintenance begins. 45 minutes later, game's brought offline. 15 minutes after that, the update rolls out to all the people in all the platforms and all the regions. And then an hour after that, hopefully, maintenance completes and the game will be back online. And remember, while the game is offline, so too are all the APIs. That means all of your apps, all your DIMs, all your websites, all the cool resources we tell you about. Well, if you have error message or messages saying, hey, the API is offline, you can't do things because we can't talk to Bungie while things are down. So that's when you catch up with all your podcast listening.
And even though Peroty said that technically the maintenance is going to be over, give it a couple of hours, guys, because we've seen so many of these for the last 9 years. Even though the maintenance is over, you're still going to be having login issues. You're still going to be going into queues. You're still going to be getting kicked out of the game. Give the game a couple hours to sort itself out and then log in. Please.
And keep your tabs on, honestly, the best place to go, twitter.com/Bungie help. They will tweet when, things are down, things are not working, when they've acknowledged it and are working on it. That's a good place to keep tabs on if things are good, if things are bad, and also just, whatever community of people you follow for Destiny. They're usually talking about it too, going, hey, we're good, we're bad, or just look at your friends list. Does any of those things say Destiny 2? If no, things are probably still broken. But what we would not want you to do is to break your last chance to get these rewards. Because at the end of the season, your rewards are going away. So if you've earned the following things, you need to get these in-game achievements by their deadlines between December 5th and 7th. So the Gift of the Gods, I'm sorry, and these are from the Bungie store. So you've done nothing in the game, you need to go to the Bungie store to buy the physical thing you earned in the game. So your Gift of the Thunder Gods t-shirt, your And Outfly the Wolves pin, your Season of Plunder soundtrack, your 2022 King's Fall Raid art print or pin, your Beacon's Guidance hat, your Scallywag Seal collectible medallion pin, or your Vidmaster Seal collectible medallion pin, If you've earned them, you need to go buy them before the end of the season, which basically is before Tuesday. Go do it, or you'll be very sad, and then you will not have them, and you will have done all that hard work and not have a physical thing to enjoy. Previous season pass and vendor rewards. There's a previous season pass page at Bungie.net. There's a link here in the TWAB. So if there's things from Season of the Haunted you're missing and unclaimed them, check all your characters. Maybe there's an exotic sitting there you haven't claimed, another copy of something, some high stat armor. Maybe there's something good you can go pick up. There's a page there. You can go pull those into the game. As we transition into Season of the Redacted on December 6th, your previous season will be updated for Season of Plunder rewards. So if there's anything from Season of the Haunted you're missing, do that before Tuesday. After Tuesday, that page changes to Season of Plunder. So if you miss anything from this season, you can pick that up then too. You'll also have a last call for destination materials. If you've missed it up to this point in earlier TWABs, starting in Season 19, these materials will no longer be obtainable in the following destinations. Your Dusklight Shards, Microphasic Datalitis, your Helium Filaments, Barium Bows, Spin Metal Leaves, and Glacial Star Wars are all leaving the game. You can no longer obtain them. Don't worry about them. Don't pick them up. They're going away. And they talked a much more about those changes in a previous 12. They have linked here in October 13th. So if you're going, what? This is the first time hearing of it, go back and listen to Design Lead Josh tell you all about those. Again, Stadia characters enable cross save before January, or you'll be very sad. Stadia players who have linked their Bungie.net profiles, who do not have their Stadia characters set as their active cross save, do not need to unlink their profile prior to the shutdown. Inactive Stadia accounts will automatically be removed from your profile after Stadia shuts down. And there's a single known issue we want to tell you about. They may not spawn, enemies may not spawn when entering the Chamber of Starlight Lost Sector too quickly. That's it. Everything else is good. All the other issues have been fixed. Yes, Respawn.
So you were talking about rewards. I don't know if I told y'all, my jacket finally came in.
You did.
It did. Congratulations. In September somewhere.
Yeah. So jacket finally came in after being God knows how many months late. And then it came in 2 sizes too small.
Perfect. Working as intended.
So aggravating.
Well, this is where I'm going to tell you, fine, wonderful people, if you'd like to support, I won't say the good work we do here. Some days it's good, some days it's bad, some days it's just crazy amounts of work. If you'd like to support us and go, hey, we just want to love you and show our support for you, we have a place you can do that. You can go to patreon.com/TTAH, and you can join the fine ranks of our lovely patrons that help us make this show every single week, give us feedback, and we have a top secret place for them to hang out in. Or maybe putting some things in the into the year, asking them to help inform our show as the year goes on. So you have to stay tuned and see how that pans out. But what I can tell you is you cannot threaten Zep Orbit with a good time. Can't be done. It's simply impossible. Have you seen the most amazing Otter Dance troupe ever assembled? The Scarlet KM, impeccably dressed. Star Vortiger, absolutely phenomenal technique. Dedicated Wham 64 and the T-Rex King, pure royalty. Never seen greater patrons in all the land. But watch out, because we have Carver over there, Carver 2782, We Noble, Golden God 1562, and basically NACL, basically Assault, throwing grenades. Piles of grenades, watch out, grenades are coming at you everywhere. And as we all seek Deacon's approval in life, PP Pipe and Lord Master Chaos also seek Deacon's approval in Patreon. We thank you, each and every one of you. It just tickles us that anyone goes, we like what you do. Here's some dollars, here's some yen, here's some pounds, here's some euros to make that happen. Thank you. We really appreciate you. And we're still figuring all this out. As our Patreon says, most of this is because we love you, you love us. We're going to figure out what to do with all this. So we appreciate you there as we get this figured out. And do some more things for you lovely humans to support us.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your hunters no one responds in real life. We have a lore guy. Maybe you'll see him in 2023. Who's to say? You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. We're on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. We're also everywhere you want to be. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at twotitansandahunter. You know how a search box works. You type in 2 Titans and a Hunter, we're there. 98% of people find us on Spotify that way. A number I totally made up. Who knows what it is? Find all your favorite Guardians dancing in the tower, trying out their best pirate voices, maybe mourning the loss of our piratiness. We'll see what the next Redacted season gives us. Listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Overcast. Basically, everywhere you can get a podcast, we're there. And I mean everywhere. If you'd like to hang out with us on YouTube, you can watch the show every single week, youtube.com/TwoTitansAndAHunter, or just go to TwoTitansAndAHunter.com to say, how can I find your show and where else can I see you? And a reminder, Nitedemon does stream on twitch.tv/TwoTitansAndHunter every Wednesday morning. Early morning, 5 a.m. on the East Coast of the US, 10 a.m. if you're in London time and other time zones and other places. Go to twitch.tv/TwoTitansAndHunter, hit that little bell, it'll tell you exactly when that happens. And our Chaotic Hunter Respawns streams at twitch.tv/NoOneRespawned in real life on usually Saturday mornings when the show is, but the show is also chaos. It can happen anytime. He also does D&D on Thursday nights if you want to hang out and watch him then. And if you're just saying, I enjoy your show, but I don't want to get into a committed relationship with you, I just want to say, maybe I would like to buy you a coffee. Coffee.com/TwoTitansAndAHunter. Toss some things our way, and we're open to interesting challenges or ideas. Wrangling children through raids or dungeons, or just having us do silly things. What's not to love? The holidays are coming. Who knows what we could get up to? And this is my final reminder: pick up your seasonal seals and rewards. Pick up your season pass items. Go visit all your vendors: Shax, Zavala, Drifter, Save 14, Banshee 44. Everything sitting on them, all those lovely engrams, all those lovely rewards you've earned this season. Pick all those up, because on Tuesday, they are gone forever. And with that, any parting words of advice you have to give our guardians after this long Spotify Unwrapped chart-topping episode this season?
Just one small thing. There are 3 of us here on the show, objectively speaking. When you're making these requests, it doesn't always have to be Respawn do this, Respawn do that.
Oh, it does.
Just so y'all know, there are 3 of us here.
No,
I'm not the only one you got to mess with, all right?
But isn't it more fun to do that, though?
It is.
Honestly, now.
No. No.
It's more fun for me. I'm not saying it's more fun for Respawn. But yes, you can make requests. I'm not saying we'll do all the requests, but I'm saying we're open to a bit of fun. Put your money where your mouth is, and we'll see what happens.
If there's money for it, then yeah, we probably will do it up to a certain point. We're not going to go playing in traffic unless it's, that's a hidden Patreon tier. We're not going to tell you how much it costs. You just have to get, right? Anyway.